This episode of Phone Booth Fighting, Frank, is brought to you by Earth's Brew, the plant-based taste of Nirvana, a great tasting, health-conscious, functional tea that provides its effects within minutes using a synergistic mix of evidence-backed plant and herbal ingredients to promote a sense of high-functioning and active calm. Frank, it relieves stress, boosts metabolism, and focuses the mind to enhance work, school, or play. And you know, on our last episode, we loaded UFC Hall of Famer Forrest Griffin down with some Earth's Brew so he could get home and have a relaxing evening of sleep. I know you relate to that.
Yeah, that's somebody's brain who needs to be able to calm down a little bit. Sometimes he gets out
it
there.
Races.
He gets into some weird areas, man. Makes for some interesting conversations Monday in the gym, but
yeah.
But you know, it's a great supplement to have and a great tool in your toolbox of training repertoire to have, because you know the most important thing at the end of the day, no matter how much hard work you put in, you can eat right, you can do everything the right way, but if you can't wind down, calm down, and shut it down so that you can get some sleep, you're never going to be able to heal and recover and have a productive day the next productive practice the next day. And at only 15 calories, you don't have to worry about any late night calorie boosts. Throw your diet off. It's very compatible with all the diets: vegan, keto.
Hello.
You name it, any kind of strange way you can think of trying to eat food or justify why you're losing weight, you'll be able to say this and be okay with it. It fits
Brew.
Earth's Brew.
100% plant-based, 15 calories, as Frank said, no artificial sweeteners or coloring. And right now, an exclusive offer for Phone Booth Fighting listeners. Go to earthsbrew.com and enter the promo code PhoneBooth for 10% off all orders at checkout. earthsbrew.com.
That doesn't work. Jack Daniels and Xanax, same sort of effect.
Let you know when we're sponsored by them.
All
so
right.
far, I believe the sales department is still unreturned phone calls, actually, from the Tennessee distillery.
Here's
so
a Vegas
far.
experience for you. Being born and raised in Vegas, one time we're all out, and there's a person I'm hanging out with, too, who's doing copious amounts of cocaine, at the same time doing quite a few Xanax bars.
Ooh. Up and down, right?
Now, I've seen the go high, now it's time to come down. But I've never seen the let's hit the slopes up and down, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
I was like, wow, okay. And I even asked him, like, what's your theory on that? Are you trying to get high? Or
What's your theory?
Are you trying to mellow out, man?
Right.
Like, he goes, nah, man, I'm just trying to go sideways. I'm like,
ooh.
I like it. Not that I agree with the behavior,
right.
but it was worth the catchphrase.
Right.
I'm just trying to go sideways.
Wow. Trying to get sideways, trying to get bent sideways. I'm like, all right. You know
wow.
I think Belushi died that way.
Sideways. Yeah.
Sideways.
Heroin and cocaine.
And horizontal.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
let's. This podcast also brought to you by Loti Nation. Before I introduce our guest for the day, LotiNation.com is the website. Frank, I just talked to Brandon over there a couple days ago, and he's telling me he's hearing from a ton of our listeners, like a lot of them, like spending a lot of time out of his day fielding phone calls from Phone Booth Fighting listeners, which is so interesting to me because I really had no idea about this. I mean, I knew what low testosterone was, but I really had no idea how widespread the issue was. And I think just based on the fact that
low sex drive, I don't know anything about it.
Just based on the fact that he's hearing from
breasts,
so many.
do these look familiar? Are these on the poster?
Just based on the fact that he's hearing from so many of our listeners, that lets me know that there's a lot of people who are at least taking that first step to check in with LotiNation.com and see if they're a candidate.
Absolutely. And like I said, that was really a two-prong, I had two goals really in establishing bringing Brandon and Jason on the show. First and foremost was actually to try to clear up and inform people and give somebody an educated stance, opinion, a declaration upon what TRT is, testosterone replacement therapy, and how it actually relates. And, you hear too many times, and that proves my point. You as a journalist, one of the top guys in the sport of MMA, you really didn't understand what the whole TRT thing is. In fact, if anything, when people say, oh, he's just on steroids, they were like, oh, yeah, he's just on steroids. And the second, I have a father who's 60. I'm getting up there now. I've actually pulled you to the side and said, hey, man, maybe you want to look into this, because as just a friend of, other men going, hey, are you having a hard time with this? You having a hard time with, that, or not having a hard time?
I didn't know we were allowed to speak about this. What is happening?
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
oh,
So,
yeah.
you just sit
Anything
there
goes.
Right.
and just, everybody, being healthy is actually the most valuable thing in the world, right? And so having a healthy mind, healthy body, you can have all the money in the world. If you feel like shit, you don't want to get out of bed, who cares? So that's why I'm very happy that these guys, Brandon and Jason, are so knowledgeable and helpful. And again, the one thing I love most about this company is that once they set you up, you go to the doctors, they get you the blood work, they dial you in on what you need to have administered to you. Once a month on schedule, they drop it off at your front door.
Very cool.
You don't have to leave. And if anybody knows anything about dieting, exercise, consistency is only really stemmed from convenience. If it's convenient, you'll do it. If it's inconvenient, hey, man, we're all going to do shit when we're motivated.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I tell you, that's my number one reason why I'm not a vegan. It's not convenient.
Right.
If I had a chef here right now, I would do whatever.
Right.
Yeah, it's convenient.
As
So this is
opposed to the podcast, we do it in your house.
See, you know me.
Convenient.
You know me.
Convenient, right.
Yeah.
They know better than to make me show up somewhere.
Right,
You see
right.
that. Butch came to the front door today, and I was still in bed sleeping.
I thought that was you at first. I was
Yeah.
like,
Boy, he's let himself go. Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, well, he looks the part. Travis looks like a fighter. He's
for a minute, yeah,
tatted
yeah,
up. He
yeah,
has the facial hair.
Yeah, for a minute. I asked him
Kinda
if he was
quiet,
a fighter.
He looked at Travis. He's like, how does this guy make heavyweight? So LotiNation.com is the website, and here's how it works. Free consultation. All you do is go to LotiNation.com, give them a call. They're based in Atlanta. That part doesn't matter, though. No matter where you are located, they will hook you up with a lab in your area. You go in, get checked. They send the levels to them, and then they'll take it from there, like Frank said.
They'll talk to your doctor, your
yeah.
general practitioner that you already have.
Yeah.
You don't have to go see a new doctor.
It's
They'll
easy.
actually help your doctor and inform and educate them, because like anything else, a lot of physicians don't train for this. This is
Right.
not a preventative medicine is not big in our country. And this is a preventative medicine thing. There's a lot of things that we can fix by having you balanced and taking vitamins and eating right, such as yourself. You talk to most physicians, I think they spend it was 18 hours in a course over their whole medical career on diet.
Right,
You know what I mean? Like
right.
you would think what you put in your mouth is important, and a physician should be an expert on that. Go to your local physician and ask him what, carb intake and cholesterol, and
They know zero, right?
unless they've gone out of their own way, the medical community itself doesn't really push that. I think, no, actually I take that back. I think my general practitioner, who is very knowledgeable in that area, went out and about because he was an athlete, and so he said they got 2 hours. So, I mean, just shows you that preventative medicine doesn't matter.
Go to
them.
LotiNation.com. Brandon and Jason, super easy, nice guys to deal with over
Super
there.
knowledgeable.
Hit them up, give them a call, and tell them Richard and Frank from Phone Booth Fighting sent you. All right, Frank, let's get this show started. Phone Booth Fighting, twice weekly and absolutely free. How do you get it? There's a lot of ways. iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud, and of course, if you want to watch and not just listen, the Phone Booth Fighting YouTube channel. If you haven't checked this out ever or lately, please do, because just in the last 6 to 8 weeks, we are making a major push on our Phone Booth Fighting YouTube channel. Now all of the episodes are up there, not only in their entirety, but also in highlight clip form. So if you want to just catch 10 minutes of the show before your boss comes over to your cubicle and is like, what the hell are you doing? I'm paying you to work, not to watch Richard and Frank. You can get in a quick clip of what's been happening, like Forrest Griffin and TJ Lavin, who were in studio here in the bunker with us on the last episode. A lot of guests that sometimes Skype in if they're not here in person. But in the case of today, Frank, my good friend Butch Bradley, who's in studio with us. Now, Butch is doing a residency at the LA Comedy Club. He's doing the 10 p.m. show.
10 p.m.
Yep, every night but Wednesday and Thursday. And that's my home club. And actually, you don't know this, Butch, but it's also Frank's home club because it is the site of the thus far one and only stand-up set that he's
Jerry
ever
was
done.
popped.
You did stand
Yeah.
up.
I did. We have it taped. Maybe after the show, if you want to pull out the laptop, you can
Let me tell you something,
Nice.
Butch. And it's not just because Frank's within striking distance here.
Listen, this is
Frank,
like me
we're in a
telling
small
him
room.
I fought once.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
exactly.
and then I go, you want to watch me fight?
Yeah.
And he's like, let's get the family around. Let's spend 2 hours watching Butch get his ass kicked. That sounds like a
come
dream
on,
come true.
Yeah, but Frank did it.
That was an insult.
And, let me tell
My
you.
feelings are hurt, man. We are
This
in a
is how
small
I
room,
swing.
right?
I was like a tap. I'm like, is he going to let me do this?
Yeah.
And then you guys start out so holy. You're helping people, and you sound like a doctor. This is not what I expected.
No,
and your
yeah.
voice is extremely hypnotic. I'm like, I have to buy the product. I have to buy the.
He gets you, right?
I
Yeah.
need to remove my breast. I can only do 9 push-ups. But you know,
yes, thank you,
yeah.
thank you. That's the idea. Well,
So you did stand up is huge to me. That's huge.
Yeah.
Well,
People are afraid.
Huge fan of it. Obviously, I mean, who's not really a fan of stand-up? I mean, if you know, I love to laugh. I love comedy, and then I also like psychology. So really, it's where the two kind of meet together, where people are pointing things out, the mindset, and I like doing things that people are afraid of. Like I'm that guy that if you sit there and go, "Hey, you want to jump off of that?" I'm all. Sure, you know what I mean. Like things that I like to. You know, I've taken my story right. My friend buys a brand new Hayabusa. He has the governor of the TRI switch or something taken off of it. So now, when you buy it, it only maxes out at 186. Well,
by the way, just for our listeners, a lot of people are going to think Hayabusa is the T-shirt that George St. Pierre wears.
Suzuki Hayabusa,
Nasty bike.
It's like a 1300 cc super bike, right?
Got it.
Sport touring, I think is the actual category it falls under. But anyway, so now he goes, yeah, now it's supposed to go over 186. I'm like, did you go over 186? It's like, fuck, man, I'm too scared. I can't do it. Well, guess who goes and finds out that it can hit 200? And at about 200, when I look down in my helmet,
You're doing that.
it was a crazy sensation. We going that fast because your helmet is just pushed against your nose, smashing on the windscreen. I'm flying down the 215. I mean, just
Oh my God! I thought this was on a track or
fuck
something.
no, come on, man.
It's not fun.
No balls.
What are you talking
and I'm
about?
sitting there, and my brain goes, man, if one person cuts me off right now, I'm mud. you know?
Right.
So then I finally
There's nothing left.
So I finally sit up. The wind hits me in the chest. I slow down, and I even pull my hands off the handles now because I'm going slow enough. I'm like, all right, now I'm slowed down. I look down, like, shit, I'm still going over 100 miles an hour. 100 miles an hour seems slow after one. So anyways, point of the story is I'm that guy. So stand-up scared the shit out of me going up there, and then you're expressing who you are. It's your shit, your ideas, your thoughts. So if I laugh at you, I'm laughing at you as a person.
Yeah, the mental
You know what I mean?
chess. You enjoy that. Yeah.
And so, I went up there. Richard helped me. He told me to put some notes together, and I had about what I think I had my first 3 HBO specials.
It's about an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, because I thought I got to come
How
up with
long were
ideas.
you up there?
Well, no, he was up there.
We got
for
it down to
7.
5, but
yeah.
I had probably over 90 different points. I'm like, okay, I can make a joke about this, then I can make a joke about that, and I was so proud of myself. I'm like, hey, do I have enough? Do you think this is at least 15 minutes worth?
Right.
And Richard's like, holy shit! All right, well, at least you're only gonna have a problem with editing,
Right.
Yeah, we gotta go the other way.
I listened to the whole thing because what happened was I came over and
Yeah, you did. Actually, you know what? You didn't cut me off. You
Well,
let me go through the whole.
Yeah.
You sat there for just talking about the comedy I was going to do. Took an hour to get through.
Yeah.
Right.
Let alone
So-
actually making jokes.
So I didn't want to, I'm going to write it for him. I just a little punch here, a little punch there. But basically, I wanted to just, have him put it all out there, and then we go from there. So he did like over an hour of stuff, and then I said, okay, the good news is we're not going to be short on material. The bad news is we're going to edit 95% of this down to
when he told me, he goes, you're pretty much going to keep 5 of those things. I'm like, 5?
Yeah.
I'm going to be up there for 30 seconds. He goes, Frank, no, man. Come
Yeah.
on. So sure enough, and then the other thing that was very funny is I'm very long-winded, which works great as a fighter when I do interviews.
Podcast.
I'm a broadcaster now for the ACB, so I talk about fights, podcasting.
Plus, you're intimidating. Who's going to cut you off?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But just be late to whatever it is you got to get to.
Plus, I mean, you see my wife. That's how I got her. I'm very good bullshitter, long-winded. I talk. I keep you fucking knowing which way is left, which is right. Got my dick in you. Got right. All right. So
I learned that the hard way.
Right. So then we're sitting there talking, and so I have to sit there, and like one of the bits is about me, my stint as a bouncer at the Rhino, right? So I go, okay.
Dear God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, so
you at the Rhino.
For 7-8 years, I was a bouncer there, during my career, even fighting. They both actually began at about the same time. So anyway, so here's how I had such a fucking difficult time, which I'm telling you what you already know, but this is probably more for the listeners. They sit down and go, all right, so anyway, so I was a bouncer at the Spearmint Rhino, a strip club in Las Vegas. He goes, Frank, you don't have to say the name of the club. You don't have to say where it is. Just say, I was a bouncer
at a strip club.
That's
it.
It took me about 15 attempts before I would just say
Strip club.
Yeah, he kept adding in
cutting the
it was
fat.
one of the
Las Vegas. Yeah, I love to fucking had the shit out of my fucking sentences.
There's a weird key opening, and it used to take me a little while.
Yeah.
Can we put sound effects in here? People want to hear me.
Yeah.
Can we get some background singers?
Man.
He's working at a strip club.
Yeah.
A strip
Yeah.
club.
So it's funny now, though, and the reason why, again, anytime you really love something, like that's why I tell people, if you really enjoy fighting, take a jiu-jitsu class, learn about it, because even if you, no aspirations, I'm never going to pay my bills off of comedy, right? But the fact that now I've dabbed in and tried it, I appreciate people that do comedy. I can sit there and go, oh, okay, I can relate. Oh, now when I see someone talking, I'm like, oh, look, he's hitting the beats. I see now how he's stripping. Oh, look how he did this.
Cadence, right.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I can actually enjoy what I already loved to begin with because I'm much more knowledgeable about it.
Right.
And I hope to only increase that knowledge.
The other thing he did too, Butch, that really impressed me was he worked on it hard enough he didn't need any notes. So it's like, is
this about him getting a guest spot? He can have a guest spot any night he wants.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, we're going to get him in the room, and then we're going to tell him you've been working on it.
Yeah.
All right? Try and work out the strip club bit. Let's see if he enjoys that.
But he did.
Butch Bradley killed himself on Frank's show.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Strip club stuff gets everybody. But between my strip club and his brothel, we'll keep you entertained.
Right.
Yeah, but he really could have just like gone up and had some, nobody would have begrudged him the notes or whatever first time ever. But
most
he didn't.
Professional fucking athletes have just had you fucking write this shit.
Yeah, but that's
come
true.
on.
Yeah.
Come on, man. And then I just would have fucking, and so anyways, the other day, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, he did an awesome job with it, and we're going to do it again at some point because now he's got new material. He's not content to just have the one time. He's got new stuff he's got to talk about. So we'll be doing.
You guys record that. I won't watch that one either. That'll be great.
I'm hurt, man. I'm hurt. I need the critique,
line
man.
them up. I can't wait. You should have your own YouTube channel of you eating it on stage. Can't wait.
So a little.
The good thing is though, I sit there and go, "Hey guys, that shit's funny, right?" And everybody, there's one door in and out of this motherfucker. You better laugh.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care if you think I'm funny or not. Dig deep.
Put
yourself in a happy place.
That was actually part of my intro for him. I said, I'm not telling you have to laugh. I'm just saying you're going to see him on the way out. So you make your own decision, right?
Well, you're nice, though. Like, even your little dogs, because in my mind, I'm trying to feel it. I grew up around, that mentality.
Be a tough guy.
Yeah,
It's a time to be tough. It's a time not to be.
Right. And your dogs, you have those little dogs. And I was like, this guy's a good dude no matter what. I'm like thinking about what my range is. I'm like, if he's got this little dog, it's got to be I just picture you winning a fight and going, honey, bring me the dog.
Yeah. Well, it's like Frank was actually told the story on the show about training for being in the middle of a training camp, and it was a false alarm, thankfully, but there was a concern for a moment that one of the dogs had wandered out of the gate or gotten under the fence or something and was gone, and he was like an emotional wreck. Like everything had to stop until the dog was
Listen to
found.
me. I've been in your home for about 5 minutes. These dogs are not stupid. They're fucking going nowhere.
Yeah, that's
true. As soon as
they
went out, the other dogs were like, get back in there. You're living like a king. There's a lot of things out here you don't want to know about. Go back and get your seat at the table.
Yeah.
I'm in Australia getting ready for a fight. So I'm fighting in about 4 or 5 days. We're doing a practice. So all of a sudden, my wife, she calls me up in a panic because they were out in the backyard, and the dogs, you see how small my Yorkies are. Somehow my one, that's my baby,
right.
Tooley, she got under the fence and got away. So for about an hour and a half, she was MIA. They finally found her. A neighbor, there was a barbecue. She found the fucking barbecue.
Smelled the food.
She smelled this food and went across the street somehow. Out of the gate. Didn't get killed. But when they told me, I had to sit down for a second, and then I was like, okay, you know what? This is how I provide for my family. I have to be a man, go out there. So I
had to have that speech?
I had an internal dialogue.
Frank, what's wrong with you?
It's fucking the dog, right?
It's a dog, man.
So then all my training partners, then I just fucking started launching people around. Like, it was a bad practice for everybody that didn't have the last name Mir, right? And so smashed everybody. Fucking, I was ruthless, angry, pissed off, So then I sat down. My wife calls me. She goes, "Oh my God, we found her. It's great." She told me what happened. So I said, "Okay, cool." I hung clicked the phone off the cell phone. I'm sitting there and I started crying because my emotions of I cried. That's my dog. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
not gonna question when you cry. I cry.
So then I'm sitting in the gym and everybody's like staring and like, what the fuck is going on?
Sparring partners are like, maybe he feels bad. He put his
they're probably frightened. They're like, yo, he's crying.
There's something going on.
Shit out of me. I'm out of here.
I'm not. I'm a nice guy, but
Mike,
there's always
come
that
back
question
in the ring.
about
We're going to go around. I feel better.
My mental sanity has definitely not been established. It's 100% there. People a little, people closest to me always worry about, a little worried at times. And so anyway, so when it got done, so then the joke the next day was they're like, hey, before he goes and fights, can someone hide the fucking dog? You know what I mean? Like, we're just going to tell him the dog disappeared.
Dog is fine, Frank.
Yeah. No, just tell me the dog's gone. The
right.
dog's gone.
Oh, before a real fight.
I'm going to walk out, then so you're going to see my cornerman whispering to me like, they killed the dog.
Yeah.
That motherfucker killed your dog.
Yeah, maybe that's a little note. That's a little note to your boy McGregor. Maybe like, find out what he's close to. Maybe it's a ferret or something.
What moves
a particular stripper
what
or something.
Moves
right.
We gotta get into that here in a little bit with the sparring footage of Paulie Malignaggi being leaked by Dana White. We're gonna play that and talk about it. But just a little bit of setup here on Butch. So first of all, if you're going to be in the Vegas area, I mean, I'm always plugging my comedy shows, but the thing is you got to try to time it to where I'm going to be on stage when you're here in Vegas. The good news is with Butch is you can catch him in residency at the LA Comedy Club. He's now got the 10 p.m. spot permanently, indefinitely, dark Wednesday and Thursday. But
I
any
promise
other night
if you come to my show, you will not have to watch Frank or Richard do stand-up. It'll be a great show.
Yes.
Sorry, Richard, I had to. I had
It's
to lump
okay.
you in there.
Well, no,
I don't really feel that way, but I have to win.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
appreciate it. Well, listen, let me tell you something. You are. We worked together a couple times, and I instantly realized you're one of the best on that stage. And let me tell you something else.
Thank you. I
this
feel like it's a setup, but thank you.
No. Listen, there's more because you don't even know this, Frank. My girlfriend Jennifer has a comedy crush on Butch Bradley. She was
sending the pictures. I was refusing them.
No,
I
listen.
was against it.
Let me tell you what she said. This is when I realized she has this is when I realized I'm at best the second favorite comedian in her life. Is so Butch is a master of crowd work. I mean, you are. You're one. Seriously, you're one of the best I've ever seen at that.
I'm gifted when I'm listening to the voices. Things happen occasionally.
Yeah.
I don't.
And when I
listen to them,
when I say crowd work, just the term, I'm talking about not your prepared material, but somebody's in the crowd. Either it could just be somebody's got a weird look or something curious about them, or it could be a heckler. I mean, that's when all hell breaks loose. If there's somebody that needs to be put in their place.
Or do you guys have another name for it?
Yeah, I'm a storyteller, improvisational storyteller. So it's just like what we're doing here. It's like stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
I just started taking it to stage. It was more natural for me. And I didn't know that you were supposed to write material. So like my first 3 years of comedy, because I thought Robin Williams was what you do. Maybe you have it. And the thing that made people laugh at you when you're telling stories, or, I just started going out every night. And then like 2 years and one day in Boston, I saw guys with notes and I was like, are you guys like writing for this? And they're like, you didn't know. I'm like, I didn't know.
Yeah, and he's one of the best I've ever seen at just being able to handle a crowd. And there was one night we saw you. I was hosting your show, and then there was a guy. There was a guy that just needed to be.
You were imitating me. I do that on stage.
Oh yeah.
No, sorry, man. 16 years of professional fighting. Things I have to move around.
There was a guy that it's Vegas. He'd been drinking. It's Sunday night. It's late. Whatever, and he didn't get the memo about needing to be quiet at the comedy show.
Who the fuck ever? Like that's something I never understood. Like even like I like to laugh at the material. I make sure that I don't laugh too hard sometimes because one of my anxieties is actually locking eyes with a comedian more than once. Like I'm like, all right, he's paying attention to me. Fuck. Why is he singling? You know what I mean? Like, right. You know what I mean? Like, because you're not gonna win. The guy with the mic, everybody can hear you, and this is your job. It'd be vice versa. It'd be like you coming in the gym, going, "Hey, motherfucker, let's slow down for a minute. Let's see what happens."
Yeah, definitely not gonna happen.
This isn't gonna work out well for you.
No,
right? And vice versa. Me heckling a guy on the fucking stage.
But the gift to both of our jobs is that people do think they can beat you in a fight.
No, they do.
And
You're right.
They can beat me in a fight.
Yeah.
In the audience.
Yeah. Get a couple beers.
Thank God for those
They
people.
can fight and they're comedians. I don't know.
What I remember about this night, and I've seen plenty of people deal with hecklers. I've had to deal with it, whatever. But Butch took this guy and pummeled him, and there was a point where the guy's pummeled, the guy's been reduced to nothing. I mean, he's a puddle on the floor. And there was a point I remember where Butch said, the crowd's reacting to it, and Butch goes, "I'm not done yet." and then he just kept wailing. I mean, it was like, I think
he tried to get out of the cage, and you're like, nah, man.
Yeah, I was waiting for the referee.
Not done yet, no.
Come out.
There's no fucking time limit on this. Come back.
Yeah,
right.
And so
no one stepped in.
Right.
He didn't tap.
Hey, you heard?
He didn't tap.
There was no bell. Well, he's tapping, but you're like, fuck it.
He was intellectually
the angles out.
He was intellectually unconscious.
I heard no bell.
He was not tapping. But so this is what. So anyway, Jennifer, was there with me that night. So I don't know, a month or so later, I'm doing another show, and we see the headliner was dealing with a heckler. He was doing a fine job, but whatever's dealing with a heckler. And I remember Jennifer going, well, he's lucky Butch Bradley in here, because if Butch Bradley was here, Butch Bradley wouldn't even need to know anything about you. Butch Bradley just Butch Bradley, and he just
such a great girl.
Oh wow! I mean, she was like, I was like, oh yeah, you felt the power too. I felt it. I thought it was just me. Yeah. Anyway, so
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Now
I watched Legends. I was a little kid. I grew up in Atlantic City. A single mom, and Resorts International opened a casino. Like my mom had a waitress job at Louis, and she was very happy. She made like $180 a week. She had her 2 boys, no drama from wherever dad was, and just chilling. And then the casino opened in our little beach town, and the whole family's like, you got to go to the casino. My mom's like, I'm good. I got a job at Louis, and then she got a job in the casino, and then we were walking into the only casino other than Vegas. And I was walking in as a little kid, and Don Rickles is working a crowd, and it was such a small house. It was old school Vegas had come to open this. Mm-hmm. So if Frank wanted tickets to see Sinatra, they're like, oh, no problem, Frank. Here's 4 tickets. Mm-hmm. Richard, you need a comp at the restaurant. Done. Mm-hmm. So I grew up in that like Vegas thing in AC. Mm-hmm. And we were 11 and 12 years old, my brother and I was watching Rodney work a crowd, and I was watching Don Rickles. Like, I literally, as a kid, was leaving a casino while Don Rickles was being escorted. And I remember just, like, going, what is that man? Why is that man yelling at people? And why is he surrounded by security? I thought, he must be in trouble. Yeah. No, Don Rickles had to get an escort because he's verbally abusing everyone, still working the crowd. And as a kid, I remember watching, Rodney especially. I can see it perfectly. I can't hear. I can see the crowd moving, and I'm like, whatever he's doing, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Is Don Rickles considered probably the best at just bantering the shit out of a fucking crowd?
I think
definitely one of the best insults.
He was one of the guys that I think he's one of the best. And he was also people will confuse him like what Lampanelli does, like respectfully. He was in a place where he was trying to break down, the Jewish and the black and the white issues. He was coming right out of the core of that,
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Makes
so
sense,
he's like, the black guy. Mm-hmm. He's a comic breaking down the barrier.
Yeah.
He was in it where not the
social barriers of the taboo
exactly.
of like, don't say nothing about the black guy because you're white. You know
and
what I mean?
That's how
don't say nothing about Jewish because you're a Christian. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh, okay, shit, we can't talk about gays.
Right. And his style of comedy was how he figured out how to do it. His genius was, and they're like, wow, he talked to the black guy. No, this comic genius is actually working on you. He's making you go, it's just a dude who happens to be black. Oh, he's Jewish? Wow. Whatever he was fixing. Pryor was doing it his way. Rickles was doing it his way. So you see a lot of comics today who are like, I'm going to write a black joke. And you're like, you fucking idiot. It's not what you're doing. You're not even a part of it. You don't know anything about that energy or society. It's not your voice.
It's so much deeper than that.
But Rickles did it. No, you idiot. Rickles was a Jewish dude who dealt with God only knows how much crap, and he grew up with everybody. And, he was actually, so it was amazing watching.
What I figured out at some point was that the common denominator across all, races and cultures and stuff is stupid people. Like, everybody's got them, right?
Right.
So if you can make people realize that the joke is not about you're black and I'm white, the joke is about stupid people that we have in common. You can almost see it when it registers with them. Like, oh, they're talking about our dummies. Yeah, we've got them. You've got them. It's so now we're laughing together at people who are dumber than us, and that's it. In a weird way, it's like it's bringing us together by picking on the simpletons.
Well, yeah, for me, like, I mean, I deal with anxiety, major anxiety. I deal with all sorts of things, and all day it collects in my head watching humans fail. thank God I go to stage and I get to like discuss it. But, you know, I mean, just basic things, just driving in, you know, I mean, it's an insane society. So thank God for me, I get to break it down. And I watch a lot of dudes who can't do it or tell me they're going to work a crowd or get into it. I don't really work a crowd. I just get in and talk to you. I figure out who you are, where you're from. And thankfully, I've had enough life experience. And I grew up in Atlantic City. I grew up with, like, you know, hood rats and then, like, the rich surf boy. And I just, you know, that's how I do it. I'm dialoguing with you about you, whereas I'm not coming in with, like, a preconceived idea of how this outcome should be. I just kind of get into it.
I do like the fact, though, and I really think, and I know I tell my wife this all the time. We talk. I think so much social positive construct on social thoughts occurs amongst comedians, because I can have a philosophical thought. I can sit there and go, hey, this is bad and we shouldn't do this. And if it's contrary to somebody's already belief system that they grew up with, that their dad taught them, or society told them that this is the role that they should play, people fucking dig their heels in. And so I'm very much of a scientist. I can sit there and go, well, this is why I'm showing you the morality of what you're doing is wrong, blah, 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 blah. And they don't give a shit. You know what I mean? They're like, fucking Bigfoot's real. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Right. But I noticed I could see a comedian go up there and talk about the same subject matter, but because he's poking at it, making fun, showing different ways, it seems like it disarms people. Yeah. And then that same person now actually listen to somebody sit there and go, yeah, you know, it's kind of dumb to make fun of, you know, X, Y, or Z.
I'm not saying Bigfoot's not real. Yeah. I'm just saying, isn't it a possibility after we were done drinking and the fire went out that one of us was wandering in that direction? I'm not saying Bigfoot's not real. I'm just saying maybe Bigfoot's Frank. Maybe it was Frank. Maybe he was hammered. He went off, and you're like, I fucking saw Bigfoot. Right. You know, that translation. It's funny for me. It's comedy. You know, I'll see a comic say something, and I'm like, oh, man, I needed to hear that to know I'm not crazy. Holy shit, that's amazing. Wow. I mean, Chappelle, holy God, hands down, watching Chappelle riff, sick, genius. His SNL set that he did about 8 months ago or whatever, when he came back, was just like, you know, he was smart, but he was still funny. Some of us start thinking, you know, now it's time for me to tell you what life's about. And you're like, this guy's so fucking unfunny.
And then they get preachy. And then and then that draws people away. No one wants to feel like they're being spoken down to. You know, it turns a lot of people off. It's very hard to receive criticism. And that's what a comedian can start getting into that critic. You know, well, you know, you guys, this isn't right. We shouldn't do this. It's like, dude, am I at a fucking rally? I thought I was at a comedy show. Right. But if you make me laugh, it's disarming. I sit there. I mean, there's times, I mean, I've confronted some personal beliefs on mine where I sit there and, you know, it was a joke on the surface that I laughed at, and I sat there and go, oh shit, they're pointing this out. That is kind of like, wow. Hold on, why do I do that? Or am I just repeating something that I thought, oh man, I idolize that behavior because of this, but that's really not what I'm, you know what I mean? Like
subconsciously placed in your head, right?
I've gone home and done some shit, you know?
I love talking about death and God and all, but it's like funny, I was just talking about this last night. I'll sometimes open my mind and go, it's Sunday. Let me see what this person's got 60 million people listening to them speak on Sunday about God. Who am I? Let me hear. And then they start singing. I can't have God sung to me. That's like a weird thing. I can't have you love God. You know, I'm like, you're trying to trick me. You're not just telling me something.
With your siren
songs out there, though, man.
There are.
Some rock songs out there. I've been more than one time and kind of nod my head and be like, oh,
I'm down.
The words written in red. I'm like sitting there going, wait, words written. Oh,
see? Okay. You get it?
Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, you know what? Hey, you know what? I'm not going to... I'll listen to Justin Bieber. You know what I mean? Like, if the song's good, I can think you're a douchebag. You know what I mean? But, you know,
Bieber's talented all day long.
Yeah, the man has great talent. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want him dating my daughter, but, you know. But
I think it's how it's said. So, it's like you're saying, if it's not preachy and someone actually gives me a little piece of themselves, but that's the art of stand-up, where the good thing is, you know, you're going to get up on stage, and comedy is a sexy, jealous woman, and she just dumps bitches all day long. So these guys that get up and are like, you know, I got 400,000 Instagram viewers, and everyone's like, oh my God, they're getting all the stage time. I'm like, just let comedy handle this.
Yeah.
Let them go up.
Yeah.
Let them follow me. Let them follow 10 of me. Let them go up and watch death just come. Yeah. It's like someone. I mean, the worlds collide.
You can't force it.
No, comedy has its own process of natural selection. That's absolutely true. All you got to do is just get out of the way.
It'll
of it.
pull the voice out that we need to hear. Is what I mean. Like that voice will rise where someone will say something, and it'll be in the way we need it. And there's always that's why everyone's like, well, there's only a handful of like 20 or 30 guys that were because. It's like gold. You just want to, you got to hear it, and we all need to hear it. And, Lady Comedy dissolved. She's the king. She just goes in. It's like,
I love comedy.
Yeah. Now, how Butch did you, because you've made for those who don't realize, I mean, this is an amazing, unique, wonderful, something everybody's going to be jealous of opportunity that you've got here with this residency.
It's either America's Got Talent, and I went up and just told those fuckers to shut up and let me do my set, which I was like, that's probably not going to work. Well, where are you from? What's your story? Aren't you sad? Did anyone die? Can't we see a clip? I'm like, this isn't going to work for comedy. I just did years. I just always went to stage. Stage was always honest, and I had ideals with Courtney Cox. I've written shows for her. I've had big breaks. Martin Short in L.A., Laugh Factory, The Comedy Store, all of those traditional things from TV to auditions and things. But through the ups and downs, I just always went to stage and just sort of like training. Just going to stage and being good or getting better or learning or failing and getting better. And it's come up. And I've been headlining Vegas. At one time, I was the youngest headliner in Vegas. And just being a headliner, so there's headliners. Most guys will never touch a stage in Vegas, ever. It's like a delusional dream. I'm happy for them to want to go. They're like, I'm going to work Vegas. I'm like, you're not going to fucking work Vegas. But then to be a headliner, maybe once, if you survive the guy who's in the middle, who's a murderer. And when I was here, it was headliner. But there's this, and then there's the Seinfelds. And in the middle, if you're blessed enough to get offered a residency, there's a couple of us.
But this decision that you made, but this decision that you made, I mean, it's like, it's on the one hand, it's a great opportunity. On the other hand, you've got to decide, okay, I'm all in. In other words, you're not going to book a bunch of things overseas while you're doing the residency because you only got 2 days off a week, things like that. You're going to relocate, you're going to move to the area, all that. What was that like? I mean, was there any trepidation about that?
It's the wiring of someone like me. I saw an opportunity. People were like, what's your contract? How many months? I was like, I never even see that. I'm like, I have to prep, go kill this. I think I said to you, a lot of comics, our place where we fail is we walk in and we're like, we think I'm going to just go to stage. I know that a lot of people don't know who I am. My job starts during the day. I go around. I talk to Vegas guys. I go, hey, I'm Butch. Come check me out. I do a ton of USO work. I call the guys at the base. I'm like, hey, all military comped on my 10 o'clock show, which is true. Come in. Let me share my stories. Let people get to know me. So I'm game face. It's no pressure because I love to do what I do. It's pressure that I want to be great every night, but I'm also good with the idea that it's absolutely hilarious when I go up and down.
Yeah, yeah. And you
just I just piled in the car and said, fuck it. I moved to China the same way. I moved to LA. I started comedy the same way. When people are like, you're like, I want to be a professional fighter. There were people that were like, dude, you're big, but I just went and did it. I knew it was in here, and all those people that say no to me,
the factor that people
pay
don't
to come
realize.
See me.
Yeah,
they pay to come see me.
You can be calculating as possible, and I think you should try to. I'm a big guy on percentages. You know what I mean? Like, there's no guarantees in anything. You know what I mean?
That's because we grew up in casino town.
So, you know what I mean? So, I'm a percentage guy. You know what I mean? Like, well, if I train every day for the next 3 months properly, I'm going to increase my chances of winning. There's no guarantee, and that drives people insane. And same thing like with you stepping in and following your dreams. People want to try to line everything up. So it's like, okay, so when I make this leap, I'm going to land. I'm all, no, you did all your homework and you're doing everything else, so you probably got like a 95% chance of landing this. But there's that factor where you just, like you said, that, and I don't think enough people get that at home, where you're just like, dude, just got to jump into it, man. Dude, you got to take the leap.
Also, we're in a world of killers. I mean, my job's completely different than yours, but everyone I work with, I know they're killers. I don't ever go, I'm like, this guy's awesome. I got to follow this guy. Holy shit. There are a lot of dudes who think I'm so-and-so. You know, I have a Comedy Central special. I'm like, you are going to get spanked.
Yeah.
Because you're not in the game. You know, you're over here chatting like, hey, at Comedy Central and ooh. And I'm like, you don't know the new dude. This new dude's a murderer and he wants your neck. And he's been doing 30 minutes.
It's so much like fighting. It's the same thing. You're right. I
it's
go out there, I win a title.
I'm 28, bitch. I'm 28. I've been taking the pills Richard sells on the show.
Well, and you see it in the gym. Again, there's so many correlations. I got guys like, if I go out to another gym, you know, and I do seminars, I'd rather roll with black belts than brown belts, right?
Of course.
The reason being is because the black belt guy, he's happy, he's content, he's kind of, at one time, his timing was flawless. And not that there's not dangerous black belts out there, but on average, I see those guys, because they have reached the pinnacle of what they set for themselves as a goal, so they don't train quite as hard. They're not quite as intense. But then I look over and I see that 22-year-old fucking brown belt, fucking skinned up knuckles, fucking angry as geese, fucking like been patched together. I'm like, oh shit, I better pack my lunch with this asshole, because he's trying to, like, his goal in life is to fucking rearrange.
Been talking to your poster.
Yeah. He's like, dude, you can beat me.
Frank, you're my idol, but it's coming.
In his mind, he's like, fuck, if we roll 10 times, you can fucking tap me 9. If I could just get you one time. You know what I mean? So I'm dealing with a killer, where the black belt's like, all right, man, let's clap hands, let's move around. You do your thing, I'll do my thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's more of that, like, so what you're saying, and I see that. And again, the lines, and you know, you live in both worlds, so you know what I'm talking about exactly, where you get a guy, Comedy Central, oh, you think you got your black belt on, like you're hot shit, you made it. All right.
Hey, Butch, I heard you got a residency. Can I do a spot? I'm like, I hear him. He's saying, can I do a spot? Can you follow me? I'm like, sure, go to a spot. So we just had Eric Myers pop in. Absolute murderer. I know who he is because I like what I do. I'm also not a fool. You know, I see him and they're like, do you mind if he does time? I'm like, yeah. They're like, he's awesome. I know who he is. So I just left. I was like, I'm going to go over my notes a little bit. I can, you know, just make sure I have a possible, you know, an A joke that'll help me build the audience if I have to follow him murder. Maybe a settle zone. I'm not going to open up riffing about, you know, a parking spot or something a little loose. I'm going to be ready. But he annihilated. But like you said, I like running with the big guys. He makes me a little better. He caused me to go to my notes.
Steel type
He made me go to my notes. And I hadn't been to my notes in like 5 days like an asshole, you know, and I was like, woo. And I did well. He murdered. I did well. I killed. Yeah, I did my thing, but I love it. And LA, New York, that's our NBA or NFL. When I go up at Gotham or the Strip or the Cellar, or I'm in LA and I'm at the store or Comedy Magic or Laugh Factory, the Improv, to get in there, guys dream of that. But every single time I go up following any one of these guys, could be a night where someone's like, ooh.
People don't realize the hard work that you guys do to be sharp. It's funny. I'm fucking beating this fucking horse to death, but it's like guys will see me go out and fight and compete or see a fighter like, oh, I could do that. I could fight. I'm tough. And then same thing with a comedy show. The guys will sit there and nudge his girlfriend and go, I'm kind of funny. I told a couple jokes at the bar the other night with the boys. I got guys laughing, not realizing the prep work, the mindset, the science behind what you're actually fucking doing. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, dude, you don't even have a fucking clue what those guys have to do time in and time out. And those are the guys you're probably never even heard of, let alone somebody like a Bill Burr where you're like, holy fuck. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the level of some of these people, it's like, dude, you don't even have a clue.
Right.
Yeah, no,
and it's the same as like the weird things, you know, I'm pretty game face about where I am right now, especially. But eating, the idle time, the hours, it's like, and I don't even think about it. It's nice to talk about it, but I love what I do. You know, I don't think a fighter who loves the ring that much ever really thinks about it, and probably doesn't want to ever dare do this because they fucking love it so much and they want it, and they're like, are you fucking nuts? I just worked out for 3 hours, and then Frank Mir showed up. It was fucking sick. I'm in this world and I'm living it, and I watched him, and you know, I'm driving this to show in Vegas. I enjoy that. I put my music on, and I'm like, remember, you're lucky, you're blessed to be here, but it's not guaranteed. Go up, fucking swing, kill it, swing, and I leave. You know, I don't always want to leave.
We're not guaranteed a shit.
No. I got to get up tomorrow. I'm doing this podcast. I'm like, I'm excited. I know he's saying I'll pick you up. I'm like, it's so funny. He's probably used to so many bitch comedians who are like, oh, yeah, listen, are you picking me up? Look, you know, I worked last night. I'm like, this is awesome. I have game face. I'm like, I'll be there.
No, he was.
Coffee.
And the thing is, too, I mean, you know, Butch and I get to know each other, but I mean, we haven't been around each other that much. And so I don't like know him super well. yet. And so it's like, because I told him, I go, because originally I was saying, yeah, we'll probably tape, early evening Sunday, because he's got a show tonight and everything. And then you and I talked, because your schedule and everything, wanted to do early in the morning. And I text him, I'm like, hey, just if it's too late, if it's too early, no big deal, but we, 10 a.m. And he's like, yeah, no problem, ready to go.
Yeah,
Are we starting at 10? Should I be there at 9:30? What are we doing?
I think this is a part of every training process, are the little things that come along, because I've said no to things that I wish I didn't.
Yeah,
like Last Comic Standing, I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I was one of the guys they wanted, and I didn't want to be mocked. I was afraid to be on those early day reality shows where I thought what I was doing it's an art to me.
Yeah.
It's just like the fighters getting on the show here. You don't want to be mocked. You don't want to be caught being human and they're mocking you while you're trying to chase your dream.
Yeah.
So
it's
I was
hard.
it's
hard.
But I get I need my break. This is my break. Let them fuck with me a little. I crush this. Now I'm in the real arena. I get it. So I've said no to things. Now I just like being prepared, saying yes, making sure I can deliver at the end of the night. And then remembering it's comedy. For me, remembering it's comedy.
Yeah. Well, let's do this. Frank and I, the show is called Phone Booth Fighting. We do talk a lot of fighting, but we have a lot of other diverse interests as well.
There's a part we forgot to tell you about.
Yeah, we've had a very interesting weekend in Charlottesville, Virginia. If you pull these clips up, to put it mildly. First of all, the backstory. There was a protest going on there because in Charlottesville, Virginia, there is a statue of Robert E. Lee that is slated for removal and relocation. And this is a fairly new thing. Butch, being from Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas to be exact, my high school was the mascot was the Richland Rebels, and on my high school diploma is a full color embossed Confederate flag. Wow. And even then, I thought this is weird. Like
I've always thought that was strange.
Yeah.
I never understood the mindset.
Yeah,
between coveting the flag that was dividing the country.
This was the flag of some people who tried to overthrow the government.
Yeah, it stands for
Patriots.
I'm like, this rebellion or whatever. I'm like, no, the U.S. flag represents that. We rebelled from the crown. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, we are the descendants of a rebellious group of people that dug their hands into the dirt and created.
We've evolved from that mindset.
Yeah,
come along. Where I don't mind the rebel flag because for me it tells me who's crazy. Driving down south, right. So when they were removing the flag, I'm like, black or white. If you really know these crazy fucks, I'm like, why are we getting rid of the flag?
Yeah.
These idiots are so stupid. They're like, I'm right here, and you're like, hey, honey, let's keep driving.
It's helpful.
Yeah, it's a little helpful.
I never thought of that way. You're right.
I thought it was odd then, but it's something that is actually fairly recent in terms of this sort of mass recognition of, hey, you know what? I'm not saying don't preserve history, don't teach history and that sort of thing. But as far as the displays and the, hey,
that's when I agree
good
with,
for you guys for trying to overthrow the government, maybe we need to dial it back.
There's some things though that are still historically ingrained in us now.
Yeah.
That when people bring up, I'm like, I don't know if that's really an issue, but maybe it's because I'm not being sensitive enough to it. Like, for example, like everybody's on the Redskins kick, right?
Yeah.
The Washington Redskins, a derogatory name, Indian, this and that. I'm just sitting there going, I don't know if that really means that anymore. I think it's kind of progressed.
We've evolved, right?
Yeah, it's evolved. I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm not saying I'm sold yet on one way or the other, but I'm like, really? We're going to try to petition for them to change the logo of a team? Like, I don't know. I'm kind of, I'm open to conversation on that. Whereas the Confederate flag, I'm just like, nah, we need to get rid of that shit. Why is it on fucking buildings and shit? Or graduation diplomas? Like, that's not.
Because
why defend something? Like, listen, I mean, why don't we just have a T-shirt with a slaver ship on it? Like, what are we defending? You don't defend. See the us part. That entrenched we're Americans thing. That's a problem with Americans because the rest of the world gets it. We're English. I go to Ireland to visit. I'm like, I'm Irish. The dude's like, you're not Irish. You're American. That's that's past. We're not slavers. That was disgusting. We evolved out of it. I understand intellectually that was a form of commerce and they were ignorant. But there was definitely a dude there that knew, hey, this is kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm thinking if we grab these people, we can sell them to the idiots who will purchase them. Yeah. Selling humans? Yeah. I'm not going to give everybody credit that it was ignorance. There was some asshole.
Always an opportunist.
Yeah,
Yes.
But, the statue represents a part of us. Look, I have things I've done, maybe hammered at a party, told someone their wife's an asshole or something. I wouldn't defend that part of myself. You know what I mean? I don't want to have a poster of me hammered going, fuck Cindy, she's a bitch. Yeah. You know what I mean? You let that part go. So
no, the statue, though, of being of Robert E. Lee.
Yeah.
As far as being a general in the military, like a U.S. citizen, like, I don't know. Then I'm kind of open to discussion on that.
Well, exactly.
That's a little different to me.
The angle. What angle are you taking?
Yeah, I mean, he was
That's
actually
interesting, right?
You know what I mean? Out of they said he was, basically hammered Ulysses S. Grant head to head. He was the better general, from what I understand from grade school. Hey, Vegas Public School.
History Channel.
Yeah, the History Channel. Tells me that the guy was a pretty clever guy.
Right.
And also too, as being a general, I don't know. Like, was he?
Well, and he may have been defending the culture and the people, and I think less the idea of the idea of slave. I'm sure there were a lot of good old beautiful Southern people who are like, you're not just going to push us into it.
Right. I don't think everybody, I think that's a misconception that
the South is ready.
Everybody had a slave. It's like,
right.
Well, not everybody has a housekeeper. That'd be like, 200 years from now, they're like, oh, man, people had housekeepers.
Richard's from Texas. He's a racist. But I mean, you and I, we've evolved.
Rich people had slaves. It's funny, all the old problems are new again. It's always a difference in the division between classes, not races.
Right. So it was an economic thing. I mean, how many rich people were in the South?
So, but here's the thing.
There's a lot of Southern men that fought and died for the South that never fucking owned a slave.
But here's the thing that this boils down to. I mean, if we decide right here in the phone booth fighting bunker, for whatever reason, that we are going to attempt to violently overthrow the United States government, we're treasonous. Like, that's what's happening, and if we decide that's what we're going to do it. But when it's done, either we have overthrown the U.S. government and we have a new government, or we lose, like the Confederacy did. And we're not heroes in that sense, not in the American sense. We are the people that tried to overthrow it and were defeated. So it's weird.
And the way of life that they were trying to defend isn't something that nowadays we look at and go, well, it was a moral. It was a very a noble cause they were fighting for. So maybe kind of like the 47 Ronin that we talk about in Japanese culture. They lost. Well, they won. They all committed suicide. But it's historical. Like, hey, these guys are something cool to talk about. They were fighting for honor and blah blah. We can go through this. It's like, oh,
slavery was a human fail. It was just disgusting.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I try not to force because I realize, okay, I'm a Western thinking individual, and so my morality comes from that. And so sometimes I try not to. I travel a lot internationally, so sometimes when I see people do shit that's awful, I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't do that. But I'm like, well, fuck, let me put myself in their shoes. I didn't grow up there. So I really try to look things from an open mind. But it's pretty safe to say that slavery's kind of under the same category as female castration. It's I realize that's what you grew up with, and maybe you didn't know better. But now we can all look back. I think most intelligent people go, "This is fucked up. You shouldn't own another human being."
A lot of the people that tend to support those crazy things are people that aren't affected by it. They're profiting or something.
And also there are certain things that are just conversation enders, like slavery. You ever hear where people go, well, it was about more than slavery. Yes, but it was about slavery, right? It's like some it's like somebody going, well, Hitler had other ideas besides the Holocaust that no one ever talks about. I can't very well say, okay, yeah, there's a bunch of child porn on my computer, but it's not the only porn. Okay, you're only focusing on that. I've got completely legitimate. And so that's the part that now I'll tell you who doesn't think that way are the neo-Nazis, and they were very upset about this statue removal, and that's where our story picks up, because Charlottesville, Virginia, this weekend, a bunch of white nationalists gather there to protest the removal of the Robert E. Lee statue. Now, counter-protesters show up, some violence breaks out, that sort of thing. That was on one level until someone who who is believed at this point to be connected to the neo-Nazi movement. At least that's what the background intel is saying. This fellow right here, James Alex something. Scroll down there. What's his name? James Alex Fields Jr. 20 years old, drove a car into a crowd of counter-protesters, killed one, injured. The last number I heard was 19. And there's actually video of it. Where's the video? It's right here, right? Scroll down or wherever it is. There's his car busted up. Hit the video. Yeah.
I didn't catch the person. The person who passed away. Oh,
yeah.
Here,
32-year-old female.
Oh, God bless her.
She had children.
Such a coward.
Two kids and a husband that's battling cancer right now.
Oh, Jesus, fuck, man.
Yeah, and this is the guy right here. Just I think you got to hit play down there. Just plowing the.
That's what the kids needed in life. Dad's dying of cancer. Now mom got ran over.
Yeah. Right after this Subway roast beef sandwich ad. Wow. By the way,
Subway's powerful. They got right into your house, Frank.
Child pornography was brought up. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I can't ever help it. Every time I see Subway, I think little kid diddler.
Right. What a creeper. What was that guy's name?
Jared.
That's
Vogel.
right.
Here we go. All right. So.
Oh my God.
And then the guy's going to throw it in reverse.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
This is the other angle. Just plows into people. And then I think he kicks it in reverse right here.
Yeah, this is the yeah, he's going to come back.
Go.
You know what? Maybe it's my age and me being actually with the youngest guy here probably. I know you guys are definitely in the same. When shit's going down, I don't think I would keep the mindset of keeping the fucking camera, phone going.
I don't like that.
You know what I mean?
Get involved. Try and get the guy.
You know what I mean?
I'm not a camera guy.
Even save your own fucking ass. My thing is I don't want to sit there and go, hey, we found your husband. He's dead. Yeah, what happened? Well, you know, he sat there and he was videotaping the tragic accident as was current.
Right.
So we got a great fucking first-person view of him getting ran the fuck over because he, instead of getting the fuck out of the way or helping people, he sat there videotaping shit. And so,
well, the only thing I'll say about that, you are right. I mean, the other thing, though, is it's good that we've got evidence of this.
I'm just not that.
No, I'm with you. No, absolutely. I probably wouldn't be either, and then I'd be like, oh,
I wouldn't even think to grab my phone. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
And I think what was happening here though is because everything was being filmed anyway. Somebody was already rolling.
Oh, you're right.
You
know what? I stand corrected.
Now, what this is
not to say that secretly he was hoping shit went down so he got to get some.
Yeah, right. Now, what this is terrorism. I mean, that was a terrorist attack on American soil.
I think that word gives more power to the scenario. He's just a dumb, manipulated idiot. Terrorism uses suicide bombers and everything. They just use weak, lost souls, and terrorism makes it sound better than it is. This is just cowards.
Yeah.
This is about five fucking idiot cowards. The terrorism makes it sound like an organized group with military, and they got computers and they're thinking. This is just fucking losers.
And I think I half agree with you because I would like to be able to. I think terrorism makes it sound cool for these fuckers.
Yeah, I don't want them to get anything out of it.
But at the flip side, I don't want it to be just some crazy kid.
Right.
Like, I want the rest of us, because if he had been an Arab or a Muslim,
true,
we would instantly go, he's a terrorist act, the whole group.
In that sense, he is a terrorist, right? I agree with you, right.
In one mindset, I don't want him to fucking feel like he's the man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but in another sense, I want the rest of us to realize that this group, just like we judge other groups the same fucking way.
Yeah,
if somebody from that group does some terrorist acts and you have a small percentage, look, there's a billion Muslims in the world. There's not a billion terrorists.
Right.
There's a small select group that are doing evil shit, and we acknowledge that.
Right.
So in the same sense, this white supremacist group, these white nationals,
100%
need to be acknowledged.
In that sense.
You know what? You guys are assholes, and if you're gonna fucking condone that, even if you're not the one doing it, you're part of that group. Then we're gonna point. I think you should be on the list.
That's a great point. I never even thought about that. If they're labeled that way, then we can address that group.
Right.
They don't get to march. ISIS doesn't march through the city because they're a safe group, right? That's really a smart point.
Like,
now,
they should be labeled. They should be hit with all the stipulations.
But I wish too, like I do agree with you. I don't want this guy to fucking feel like
he's on TMZ. Like this kid's going to get off on this TMZ shit.
They love that shit.
He's going to go to jail.
Look at him. He's probably a fucking high school dropout.
I hope someone is,
you know what I mean, like
against his will is
if it wasn't
fucking him all day.
If it wasn't for date rape, this dude's never fucking seen pussy. Look at him. You know what I mean? The type of person that doesn't have the empathy, like he's a piece of shit. Right, obviously, I just, this is his fucking claim to fame. Like he'll never, like this is it for him.
And
this is why he did it, because it wasn't like he had anything else fucking going in his life. It wasn't like, well, if I do this, I'm not going to see.
And you know what? And that's the common thread. So when we talk about these 20-year-old, suicide bombers from, wherever, Yemen, wherever, that's the common thread is, my God, you're 20 years old. And you have not that your life is so nothing that you're just going to cash it in right here. This is it.
You're on my point. I travel like you do. I travel all over the world. I do shows all Muslim countries. I travel everywhere. It's a world issue. So, I'll travel and people will get my grill a lot, especially about me being a comic. Like, you're American. And I'm like, it's stop thinking we're the issue and everyone's getting shot in our. We have a serious issue in our country. It's a little more to the surface but it's a world issue. It's a human issue. Like, we're failing in the world for youth like this, whether he be him or an Afghani kid at 20. Granted, a lot on that side is a little more manipulated with your family's covered. Add religion, you're going to heaven. Your mom and your dad and your family are heroes. He sort of probably got a little bit of that like idea that you're representing whatever he was told.
And he's gonna go down as a superstar.
And the other thing too is
so he's got to get in a scrap in the jailhouse and prove that he's actually a tough guy and he doesn't have a Dodge Charger.
How about the fact that we never hear about the 68-year-old suicide bomber? It's always the 20-year-old dummy that they rope into doing this shit.
I'm so pissed off. I didn't think of that before you. I can't believe that that's brilliant.
Thanks, man. Well, it's true.
You're right. Why aren't they sending grandma?
Right.
Because we would just be like, oh, you know what? We would just think she fucked up, hit the brake in the gas.
And you would think it would be a better sell. You go to somebody. I mean, honestly, I would think that if you're like, okay, we got to convince someone to fucking kill themselves. All right. So who's on the list? Like, all right, our docket. We have 20-year-old kid with his life in front of him, hasn't accomplished shit yet, but there's potential. There's the idea that we still probably has a good 40 years ahead of him. Something might happen. Like, all right, cool.
This is shocking, that young face, man.
We have Bobby over here, who's
Grandpa Bobby.
Old Billy Grandpa, who's 70 years old. Fucking never had kids, you know what I mean? Like, life is at the end of it. Like, he's fucking, living off of fucking a fixed income.
They won't pay his insurance.
Just found out that he has a fucking tumor. Who knows? He's got to go get a check. Maybe like, hey man, you know what? I'll hook you up. You want a month at the fucking brothel? We're going to set you up, and then you go ahead and do this shit. It's like, all right, what do you got left to live for? It's
imagine one of these 20-year-olds is ever smart enough to say, hey, this is weird. How come the 68-year-olds that con us into this never do it themselves, And the 68-year-old's got to be fascinating and be like, oh, well, I've been given the divine message that I need to stay back. Now, listen, I wish I was you, okay? I don't want to have to hang back and deal with this stuff, but If
I was ever leaving Mass and my priest was like, psst, come here, I was talking to God last night. Right away I'm questioning, I guess this is his deal. And, he's like, look, God said he wants you to blow up the mall Saturday. I'd be like, listen, buddy, I trust you a little bit, but I'm going to have to hear that shit from the source.
Yes.
I'm going to need a direct phone call. I need some buddies to go, what do you think? Is this God? It could be. I don't know. Look, he's got his license and his face in the text message. This could be a legit Craigslist thing. This could be legit.
His passport in front.
Yeah, right. I need some proof, And even then I'd be like, I don't think it's my thing. I think I'm changing religions.
We're pretty clear on what we call this. Let's go to the president's reaction to this, because this is making all the news. This is getting a lot of heat the last 24 hours.
I didn't see this.
Okay,
Did anybody expect him to handle this properly? Come on.
No, but still. Here is. But
the impressive part is that he's still surprising you with how bad he is handling.
Here is what he had to say about the terrorism attack in Virginia.
But we're closely following the terrible events unfolding in Charlottesville, Virginia. We condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, in violence on many sides.
You probably had to look up those words after.
It's been going a long time in our country. Not Donald Trump, not Barack Obama. This has been going on for a long, long time.
What the fuck does that mean?
There's no place in America. What is vital now is a swift restoration of law and order and the protection of innocent lives. Never fear for their safety and security in our society. And no child should ever be afraid to go outside and play or be with their parents and have a good time. I just got off the phone with the governor of Virginia, Terry McAuliffe, and we agreed that the hate and the division must stop, and must stop right now. We have to come together as Americans with love for our nation and true affection, really, and I say this so strongly, true affection for each other.
Okay, so it's a couple of things here.
Well,
it wasn't horrible.
Here's the problem.
Yeah,
here's the first
I didn't
part.
see it because I was.
Yeah, here's the problem. It's the phrase "on all sides." That's
what everybody's upset about.
Yeah, and me too. But here's why. Here's why.
Yeah, because I'm not. I don't.
Yeah, no.
Once again, he puts a little attention to what, the black community or something.
Well, the counter protesters, whoever they are. But here's the problem with that.
You know what? And it's still a black and white issue. We always kind of cover it up. It's this and that's the South. But white people tend to feel better with this other title, but it's still a racism, and it's still directly an attack to me on Black America.
So here's the problem with that, though, is that up until the point, take the car crash out of it, take the death out of it, whatever. If you're just talking about protest, okay, if you've got two groups who are protesting and counter-protesting, and you want to say, listen, I'm all for peaceful protests, but we should never have any violence involved. Okay, so far so good. But once one side rams a car into a crowd, it's no more, listen, there's trouble on all sides here. See, what he's doing is he's failing to single out the white supremacists. He's failing to single out, listen, some of you guys are waving Nazi flags.
I'm on board now. I get it. Because at first, when we just played the clip, I got to be honest with you. Yeah. I'm like, all right, I was expecting it to be bad. I did not feel anything bad off of it. Yeah. But you're right. Had that been a Muslim that had done that, he would not have been saying, you're right, now I'm thinking about the rhetoric that what's coming out of his mouth. He would not have said, well, on all sides. He'd have been like, we need to ban them from fucking coming in the country. Right. We need to start looking at their families, hold them responsible. He would have attacked the group itself. And I see now that you pointed that out to me, I didn't observe it.
That's why you don't read other people's words. That's why, as a stand-up, as a speaker, I'm like, why do you read other people's words? Because the passion and the idea behind the words are for the individual. Yeah. You have to stop and go, there's no speech. Fuck the speech. I'm the president. We're Americans. That's disgusting. Fuck him. Fuck these scumbags.
Yeah, and he didn't single the group out at all. He didn't sit there.
No, he didn't.
You're right.
And Donald Trump can't tell me this is fake news because I'm hearing it from his own mouth. It's like this. Yeah. If Butch and Frank get in,
why would he single out that group? I don't think they'd be admonished.
Here's the problem.
I don't understand. I think it's not a hard sell to sit there and go, fuck them white supremacists. Most people are not going to sit there and go, ooh, really, Frank? Come on. You know what I mean? There are certain groups that sometimes you sit there okay, the Black Lives Matter. Okay.
You can't, right. Politically, if you're going to play the political game, there are certain groups that are guarded.
There's aspects of the Black Lives Matter movement.
Can't mess with PETA.
Right? That is positive, that is trying to bring awareness. Now, I do realize that there's some people out there, and I've seen videos of guys going out and jumping people and saying that it's a part of the Black Lives Matter, and they're trying to argue back and forth. A little bit more of a hot topic, right. Whereas the white supremacist group, I don't see really being that. I think it's pretty safe. If I'm like, hey, man, I'm going to go up there and crack some jokes about some white supremacists, you're like, well, yeah, there, dude, Frank, push the boundaries. You know what I mean? No shit, I'm not even... It
still feels like that, hidden white guilt of, everyone's afraid to admit, we're talking about slavery earlier. There's still an idea, the black community must just be, why don't they just say it?
Yeah, I agree.
This was an attack on the, you're saying, just come out. They're white supremacists. What are we dancing around for? You're our president, you know, and truthfully, a little bit, and I don't even know if
Just like, well,
even Barack might not even say, like, even Obama, like presidency, the politics, they're afraid to say what is. No, there's no real leaders.
Yeah, no, Barack did that too a little bit.
They dance around these
he
things.
would sit there and go like, it was, I think, the killing that happened in Southern California. I forget which incident that was a terrorist act. He sat there and very much tried to be very PC about.
He was more
the
PC
terminology.
on the Muslim possibility. You're right.
Yeah, it was just kind of like sitting there going, "Wait a minute, man. I mean, you know." It was the guys are, you know, there was a Muslim.
But in this defense, this group is representing exactly what they are, and we're not attacking them.
Yes, and
they're
we're
neo-Nazis.
they're not trying to hide
It's not like
shit.
one Muslim who's just not a representation of the religion. This is a group that's going, we hate everybody.
And also
we're
understand,
going to drive our car over, and they're still beating around the bush.
Also understand.
It's crazy.
Right, that's a good point.
Pull the trigger,
Isn't
man.
it crazy that I almost didn't see that? Because back to what
I
you
didn't
said,
see it.
how you're raised, you're not really seeing it, and you have to break it down. You're right.
And here's
I didn't acknowledge it until you pointed it out.
And here's the problem too, to compare and contrast those two examples. If I'm calling out, if I'm using the word Muslim to call somebody out, that could mean a member of ISIS, but that could also mean, you know,
Most likely
a peaceful Muslim.
I think now we're
if I say
Muslim
Nazi, it's not, somebody might mistake me talking about one of the peaceful pacifist Nazis. Like, that's pretty clear. So here's the issue with this, and you say why doesn't he do it? Look, I mean, the best thing I think you could, best case scenario in his situation is to just say that he's inept in terms of no experience, not understanding what it's like to.
We can't say that
words
he's
matter.
inept in this situation.
Well, I don't believe
he's
it.
Fucking, that's a written out speech. I mean, he has people. I mean, they know exactly what he was going to say, and he knew exactly what he was going to say. It wasn't like he's sitting there going, reading the fucking thing, going, "Oh shit, hey guys." Who fucking wrote this?
Yeah,
maybe I should have proofread this motherfucker.
I wish someone did say that, though. I would have loved if he went, you know what? I appreciate the speech. My speechwriter is one of the best, but we didn't get to go over this.
That would be
I don't
impressive.
feel like this is addressing. Let's just get to it. These people have to go.
It's a hate
Butch,
group.
I think that's what the problem is.
It's a hate
I think
group.
there are people who are smart enough around him to know and to say, you need to specifically mention this. I think he's the one that's vetoing it. I think he's
I think he still thinks he's selling properties and he's not in the trenches talking about hope and humanity.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
He is the denominator of nonsense in that factor.
Yeah.
He probably has more, you know, even-keeled, even-handed individuals that are sitting there going, okay, wait a minute, we need to do this. He's like, no, we're going to, you know.
Yeah, let's talk about how, well, there's plenty of blame to go around. This is not a plenty of blame to go around equation.
We would not have done that if it had been any other group.
No. And,
we wouldn't have.
And there are certain escalators that totally change the equation. Okay, so if Butch and Frank get in a drunken argument, okay, you're both drunk, you're both being dicks, you're mouthing off to each other, but then Frank pulled out a gun and shot Butch and killed him. Okay, now it's not, there's plenty of blame to go around. Up until the point that Frank shot you, you know, it was okay, he's being an asshole, everybody's drinking a little too much, whatever.
We do it.
Now he changed the equation. Right,
but
and it's one-sided.
The fact that we label groups all the time, and a lot of times, I think it's intelligent to point us in the right direction, but with balance. For example, if a Mexican immigrant illegally comes across the border and rapes and kills a young lady, it's on the news. Illegal immigrant who has been deported. We're going to talk about immigration issues. We're not going to sit there and go, well, you know, what was she doing out late at night? Or, you know, this, and there's problems, you know. Well, it's a man issue. It's men. We go, no, it's this immigrant, and there's other immigrants, and it's specifically the Mexican immigrants coming over, criminals. We're going to point out the group, right? I mean,
hate that too.
We're going to say that.
As opposed to, it was this guy, John Johnson, who was a scumbag, as opposed to a whole culture that, like, is beautiful. And then I hate
but
that.
Then now here we're doing on the flip side of it. You're right. Now, I mean, the more we talk about it, the more I see
tell us
how egregious it was that he sits there. He should have sit there and go, okay, now we have an attack by a white supremacist group who's a hate
disrespectful
group. We need to. Now, I'm not saying that all white supremacists, I guess, are scumbags. As weird of a fucking statement as that is, you know what I mean? But I get it. But you're part of a group that has this extremist guy that's doing this. Every other group gets called out, man.
As a critic,
Catholic, I make fun of Catholic priests all the time. I'm the first one to sit there and go, holy shit, man, why would you ever send your kid to a Catholic school? Like, how many kids need to get diddled by Catholic priests before?
I wasn't touched. I had some good times.
Does that upset you? Like, you're sitting there going, I wasn't cute enough? No,
yeah. No, I flirted a great deal.
You're like,
I was flipping Jesus. I was,
That's what got me into working out,
Yeah.
So I do that. I'm like, oh, fucking, Catholic priests, there's an issue, man. Fuck, how many times you need to see it in the newspaper?
Well, and how about this? Like, as critical as I am of Trump during times where he is unpresidential, where he is unstatesmanlike, and times where I think it matters, like the North Korean issue right now, where I think you need to be very measured in what you say and sound presidential. If he's not going to do that, if he's just gonna, talk off the cuff of any times to do it, how about now?
No.
Like, if he was going to come out and just go, hey, I know I'm president, but
New York it. Yeah, should have been a New Yorker.
Yeah,
you know what? Unleashed him.
Yeah, how about this? I know I'm president. If you got kids in the room, maybe move them out. But if you're waving a Nazi flag, how about you just fuck right off? Sorry, I'm president. I said
every single person that was connected to that side of the car guy should have been swooped, just like they would with anybody else, brought into creepy rooms and questioned as terrorists.
If it had been an illegal Mexican, that's what would have happened.
Yeah, everybody.
If it had been a Muslim, part of some group,
and
even if he hadn't been and just been some asshole that claims that he's part of the group, that's what would have happened.
You can almost predict the next phase of this. Like, I hate to say it,
we would not have avoided.
They're probably going to tell us how. He was a good kid. Everybody liked him. His grades were good, and he had some issues.
Kept to himself.
Yeah, and you're like, who gives a fuck?
Well, and so here's to answer your question, Frank. As far as like why doesn't he? Here's what I think. I think that there is there's a soft undercurrent of all this where people will go and they'll look at this and they'll go, oh man, those neo-Nazi hardcore Jesus Christ, look at this. But you know what, that whole protesting, Black Lives Matter, Occupy Walls, bunch of rabble rousers, if they hadn't been there, that wouldn't have happened. And you can feel both.
I hate victim blaming.
But see, people don't know how to feel both. People don't know how to feel. Let's say it was the other way around. Okay, let's say the neo-Nazis got mowed over by some people who basically otherwise represent a point of view that I share. Right. Okay, I have to have the ability to go, okay, completely separate of the fact that politically I agree with that group of protesters. One of them just ran over a bunch of Nazis, and you can't do that in America because those people had a right to be there peacefully protesting. So I am in no uncertain terms calling out the scumbag that just ran those people over, even though if I had met that scumbag prior to this and we were just talking about views, maybe I would have had similar views.
I don't even care what your views are. I don't care. Like it's so strange, but I don't care who you hate or what you don't like. As long as you kind of follow what we've set, you march, And this is crazy too. That side of the world, the white supremacist movement, a lot of times they march without nonsense. It's a human thing, and I think color and the difference between all of us is an illusion. The language, everyone's got family, husband, wife, sister, brother. When you travel the world, the reason I kind of work is because I think these are just mom, dad, uncle, aunt. And, it's a human issue. This kid knows nothing about white supremacy. This kid's just an idiot who was lost and taken advantage of, most likely.
Trump's, he's
just a total idiot looking for attention. I don't know.
Trump's got to stop this. I mean, this stuff.
He can't.
I don't think he can. And this is the time where you realize that you elected a real estate salesman to be president of the United States.
What an easy thing to do that he could have done in this situation.
I think,
how
they
easy
all skip it. I mean, look, George Bush Jr. after 9/11, I was like, he had a moment to be like one of the greatest leaders in the world. Like if he spoke from his heart, they're afraid to speak. They're afraid to speak.
Which is crazy because here you have a guy who says shit that you're like, for the love of God, the motherfucker sat there and said Obama is the creator of ISIS, the founder. Remember? I mean, there was things, and that was the time where still, like, I was not opposed to having Trump beat Hillary. I mean, I think I always kind of told people, I'm like, well, it kind of comes down to the whole, what they say, like a douchebag and a shit sandwich. I'm like, I don't know who I hate.
Dude, it was
more.
A high school election. We hated Hillary, and that's why, even though she might have done a better job or whatever the argument is, we're like, she's kind of I don't like her. All right, let's go. We'll take the crazy guy.
Right. So, but
I'll make money and he'll be nuts.
Talk about, like, I mean, you've said, I mean, it isn't like you've made a career out of fucking towing the line of just conservative being PC. Now? Like, so here's a time where
that's how he got elected on that crazy voice.
And now here's the easiest time where people around the world, even if you're some redneck that doesn't fucking like blacks, and you're sitting there going, yeah, that's pretty fucked up, fuck those guys, you're not really probably going to get a lot of backlash from this statement. And this is the one you decide to try to be real PC on and go, well, you know, we got problems. Everybody's mad at everybody. Right. We've all kind of have something to blame here. It's like, dude, no. Sorry,
and see,
buddy.
This one's the slam dunk. This is the free space on the bingo card of politics.
Yeah,
I mean, this is the one that everybody starts out with, and you didn't do that. And there's one other thing, too, that kind of gets lost in that, where he also said, you know, he's talking about it's not safe for kids to go out and play. What needs to be talked about right now is this wasn't safe for American citizens to go out and peacefully protest. That's the apropos analogy. That's what's got to happen in this country is differing points of view have to be allowed to come out.
And what you just said right there, that's the one thing that I fucking hate that we don't do properly. And we seem to only do when we have a common enemy, right? The first time I saw that I was brought to my attention was when Joe Louis was fighting Max Schmeling, right? Mm-hmm. Then he was invited to the White House, and they talk about that during a time where that was before civil rights. You know, obviously it was post-slavery back in the 30s, but at the same time it still was segregated restrooms, restaurants. And now, because it was an American fighting a German, it wasn't about it being a black athlete anymore. He was an American athlete. Yep. And that's something I wish that we would do more, especially when I travel around and I look, I'm like, fuck, man, we're all Americans. We're all people. Now, you have a different outlook, but at the same time, it's like, dude, that guy just ran over and killed an American woman here. Yep, you should have sympathy. That's I don't know if she was white, black, Chinese. Like, it doesn't matter what her ethnicity was. Mm-hmm. Her nationality is a U.S. citizen. She
was one of us. He wasn't one of us.
See, now here's where I think our issue is. I agree with everything you're saying, but I think we still tend to forget he just killed a person.
Yeah, you're right.
People killed people. And these little outfits that they wear, whether it be religion or Cub Scouts or whatever your outfit is from whoever you rep, you idiot.
You
just killed a human. Yes. Yeah, we're far.
We're so far from
that evolution.
Yeah, from just being human. And I agree with you that I think that is the end game when we can finally get to the point where it's like, well, no, that's another human life.
Some dick got in a car and killed this innocent woman.
But we're still a team-orientated culture. Everybody wants teams. Yeah. So at least I can sit there and go, hey, can we broaden the field and just say we're all Americans, we're all U.S. citizens? How about, let's be on that team instead of being like, well, you're Mexican or you're gay, you're black. It's like, hold on, fuck, dude.
Also, I really am not comfortable with him choosing that car. I like that car. I don't want it symbolized with white supremacy at all. I just like to point it out. That car, I drive it. I like everybody. I think it's a great car.
Let me tell you something.
People aren't addressing that. Don't try and walk over this. Seriously, there are other vehicles.
Trump has so conditioned me to the spiteful the spiteful encore, like where people go, he threatens North Korea and people go, that was too extreme what you said, and he comes out the next day and he's like, well, maybe it wasn't tough enough what I said. I was expecting him to come out today and be like, well, maybe what I said wasn't tough enough. The only problem with that assault was that car wasn't German engineering. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of relieved.
Was that car the Dukes of Hazzard car? It wasn't, was it? Is that the Duke's car? Like, is this kid so crazy that he's like, this is... Because what car did they drive?
They have the...
what did they drive?
What was it?
Was it a Dodge Charger?
Charger, yes.
Wasn't that what this kid was driving?
Was it a Charger or a Challenger? I thought it was a Challenger.
It's still a Dodge vehicle. This
it was
kid
a Dodge.
Thinks that show's real.
The only thing that
the Dukes of Hazzard accidentally inspired him.
The only thing that would have made it better is if the horn would have played Dixie.
Anyone listening to this, I don't think I'm taking this issue light, but this is where my job comes into play. The reality and the insanity of all of it, and just kind of like pointing out how fucked up we all are. I really don't know how to defend. Is that the car?
A Dodge Charger.
Dodge Charger.
I'm right.
1969
This guy
Dodge
thinks this guy is trying to up the General Lee idea. I'm
Jesus.
surprised he didn't take time to paint
Clear
it. It was the last car
Yeah.
he's ever going to drive.
Yeah, and a nice aerial view with the stars and bars.
What
on
an
top.
idiot. They were actors, you fucking idiot. It had nothing to do with that.
But you made the connection. I don't know. Mainstream media is burying this part of the story.
Yeah,
I mean, you right
I'm
here
an extremely
on our
smart
podcast.
individual. I
It
just
would have
like
been
to point
odd,
that
though.
out.
I would have probably called conspiracy theory, like, wait a minute, was he set up? Was it really a white? If he'd have done it with a Prius.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They'd be like, wait a minute.
My God.
The liberals set him up.
Yeah.
Seriously, it wouldn't have
Was he
been-
really a supremacist, or was
people like he's trying to save energy. Also, you know,
he was eco-friendly?
Yeah, see, this is the America. This is the healing. Like, people are going to snap, but this is the
Yeah.
beginning of the healing process.
Yes.
Because we have to go on with everyday life tomorrow, and we have to be out with our families and feel safe going down the sidewalk. So this is our fight back, is pointing out the insanity, starting to laugh about it, and still going, shit, CVS is on the corner. We might not make this. Everybody run! You know?
I think that there is a very practical aspect of what we're dealing with Trump right now, where it's like, you know, when we talked about electing somebody with zero experience, the only president who had never had any political experience and no military experience. And at the time, it seemed like, well, that's going to shake it up. We're shaking it up. We're doing something crazy. But now, in times like this, this comes home to roost. It's like this is what you get. You know, this is somebody who just doesn't know like I said, that the free space on that bingo card. This one,
there's a family member that knew this dude was on the edge. That's where it goes all the way back. Like you have I see crazy all the time. I'm out. We all know it. I mean, you know, whether you're at a store, you're at McDonald's, wherever you're just walking along and you see crazy. There's a family member that ignored this dude. There's a person that was like,
I heard his. So last night,
right? Someone
Mental
ignored
health,
this.
That's why. Now look,
being healthy is a big deal.
I don't think that this is the answer, but I think that maybe it's something for conversation. There are other cultures that I've been around where if somebody in the family does something like this evil, all family members can be held responsible. So where now it's like, you know, like an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth thing. It's like, well, if your family goes out and kills one of my family members, now legally I can go kill one of your family members.
By the way, there's rules in other countries where we travel. That's in existence.
No, you know what I mean? Like I've been in countries where I'm being told like, well, we don't really do that anymore, but yeah, we used to do that. I'm like, holy shit, right? So then I was sitting there going, okay, now obviously like, maybe that's not, you know, we're not going to do that verbatim. But as far as trying to count accountability,
it would make you point out Cousin Tony.
You know, you sit there, Cousin Tony's like been up in his room and fucking some of the shit he's been Googling and saying and talking at the night. Yeah, we had
coming
a fucking
right out of his room. Up there.
Hey, last night we were all having beers. What the fuck was he talking about? You know what I mean? I don't know, man, but he went to the fucking gun store and he says he's fucking loading up on fucking, you know, like, maybe we should have an intervention because...
So last night, I heard a woman interviewed who is close with this kid's mom. And she was saying that the mother had told her that the guy took the day off of work to go to this thing. And that she knew he was going to an something about alt-right, but she doesn't get too involved in his politics, didn't realize it was this extreme, but knew it was something like this. And that's kind of to your point, is it's like, okay, you know, I'm not saying don't encourage your kid to express their views in a healthy way, but know what they're doing, be involved. I mean, you know, if
he's responsible, but I agree that
he's
like
22, but
right, like, I mean, you know, along your point, I think if people buy weapons and you have a gun in your home and then a family member can access your weapon, God forbid, and they go commit a crime and you weren't a responsible gun owner, I feel like you should be charged. When you get a gun, I'm for having guns if your background is clear.
Yeah.
But I think that if I own a gun and I've owned weapons and I lock them up, I take them apart.
Yeah.
So that's frustrating to me because I'm thinking if someone gets in the house, I'm not going to be able to get the gun together. But if someone gets my weapon, I'm a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
If a family member is mentally sick and on the edge and they say they're going to this rally and they took the day off, I would be like, really? Why are you going to the rally?
Yeah.
You know, why are you washing the car, waxing the car?
We don't. We definitely don't have. But we don't even think. I don't think we even have a form or a structure set in line. Like right now, ask the average person. Like, hey, if I started talking crazy, and you thought maybe because I was going to go do something, like, who do you even begin to call? Like, does the average person, like, honestly, right now, if you told me that, you know, hey, my cousin came over and he was talking and he's like fucking, you know, Cuba and this and that, you know, we need to fucking overthrow some shit. And, you know, is he talking shit? Is he being a fucking idiot?
They would ignore you too if you called the police. They'd be like, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there a hotline? Like, what steps do we do in this country? Like, I mean, but then do we all overflow every time someone says some really crazy, stupid shit at the fucking bar? I mean, I'm just pointing out that I don't know. Like, to sit there and tell his mom, like, well, who should she have called? At what point does she think that? I
feel bad for her because she has to live with this.
I mean, one thing is to sit there. Obviously, if you look through your kid's window, you open the door, and all of a sudden you see him fucking strapped up Rambo, fucking loading fucking magazines into a vest. He's like, all right, I'm going to fucking see how many I can get. Right. All right, I get it. That, you know, no shit, Sherlock. Fucking call 911. We got some problems. But at what point does that teeter in the line of like, okay, he's nutty.
I mean, he looked innocent in the sense if you took this situation.
Billy's a shit talker.
And he hugs her, he leaves, he goes, I'm taking the day off. You're right. I mean,
got a lot of shit talking guys that have some stupid ideas, but they don't have the balls to back it up. How do we start differentiating between the guy who's fucking actually crazy enough to fucking slam that shit and drive and run motherfuckers over?
At bare minimum, barricades now to protect people, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't even, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to do. Like I'm saying, I don't know what to do.
There probably is nothing.
One thing about people like this, though, is a lot of times they will telegraph from long distances where they're headed. It's not an overnight thing. It's an evolutionary thing. It's building. You know, it's a slow burn. And so if you're involved, and I'm not saying you know somebody that's got some viewpoints that are a little off or maybe a little different than yours, but when you see it building, when you see it escalating, you know, when Frank's all of a sudden telling me now about, you know, the voices and the people that are coming, and we've got to start saving
driving me down to the local gay bar for the last 3 years to scope the shit out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I'm going and buying rifles.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, fuck, you know, the guy's example, the guy's wife, maybe it's like, well, you know.
Yeah, no, that's a great example.
I thought you meant he was hitting on you.
No, the Orlando shooting, remember when he went,
Yeah, that's a great
example. Shot 100 people, killed
He's doing dry runs with the wife.
It was like a 3
that what he was, that's
for
right,
3 years, he was scoping the area out. So there are definitely times where it's like maybe we should reach out to somebody, but even then, if your husband is, you know, if I have you driving me around, I'm like, man, fuck these guys. You know, let's say all of a sudden I became a crazy atheist where I'm like, you know, let's go down to the church. You see this fucking pastor here? He's making money. You know, like at what point and who do you call? Like, hey man, Frank needs some help, man.
It's a human issue. Like I really like we don't have a Gandhi, we don't have a Martin Luther King right now. We don't have a Mother Teresa. There's like no one out there. You know, I mean, it's funny. You go to the art, you watch people who inspire you, you know, music rocks, you know, but there's no one out there right now that everyone's like, you know, that kind of like rechannels humanity.
Yeah, no, if anything, it's just voices of escalation.
It's crazy. The more we talk here, as much as I always run all this stuff through my head to try and figure out how I'm going to translate it, I agree with you. I don't know what the answer is. I hate to say it, but it's almost like a wait and see. Be cautious how you live right now. You know, I really don't know.
Well, I mean, and this is the first step, is talking about it and then running things through. That's why when people sit there and, you know, I do it with even more simplistic ideas. Like, okay, if someone comes to your door, I would do this. I'm like, really? Run that through your head right now. What would you really do? Like, someone kicks your front door down, where's your gun? How fast does it take you to get to your gun? How do you identify the difference between somebody who just is drunk and maybe it's Vegas and they fucking came to the wrong house, or maybe somebody told somebody that you're sleeping with their wife and they got the wrong house? You know what I mean? Or maybe it is a fucking cold-blooded social fucking maniacs, you know, that's coming to kill you. Like, how do you differentiate between them? And what are you going to do? And how fast can you get to your weapon? How accessible is it? Like have you actually run? And that's what I do as a critical thinker. I run shit through my head.
I do also.
Okay, and so that's why in this situation, I go, I have a crazy friend. At what point, because mental health is so probably the one thing that we have the hardest time with in our culture, and I think humans in general, is if someone says, I got a bad leg and I can look down and I can see you have a brace, I acknowledge, oh yeah, you have a handicap, right? But if you sit there and go, you know, I got a few screws loose, PTSD from coming over from overseas, brain injuries from sports, whatever the case may be, you sit there and say, you're not quite right up top, I need medication. People are like, you're being a pussy. Suck it up. Because I can't look into your brain and see that you're handicapped.
Right.
But mental health is a huge issue. And I think that's more of a problem why these people do this shit. And sometimes we get distracted with what flag they're fucking waving. I'm like, no, that's a crazy guy. But then how do we deal with crazy people?
How about a mention of that from the president yesterday? How about a note on mental health?
Again,
you know, that
it's
would
not
be
about
fair.
guns. You know, that's the thing that, like, when I'm watching this, I'm like, fuck, it's almost prophetic. Remember, I think one of our first shows we were talking about, like, you know, guns, this and that. And I'm like, you know, bottom line is, man, if you have, I don't think it's a firearm issue as much as it's a mental health issue.
100%.
Because if you want to kill people, you could fucking jump in your car and run motherfuckers over.
That's what I was going to say. Yesterday wasn't a car issue either. You know, the problem is not people are driving cars. Now,
granted, a gun is meant for one thing. It's meant to kill shit. Whether you're killing an animal to eat it, you're killing somebody that's trying to hurt you, it's a deadly weapon. So I understand that it does fall in a different area where we don't need guns to operate on a daily basis, where a vehicle is a necessary part of society.
But that's also why you have a license to drive a car. You know,
right.
if it's all going to be a moot point now, but again, this fellow's driver's license is probably getting
and the
suspended.
common denominator or the issue is it's mental health. If you're fucking crazy, you're going to find a way to kill people.
Yeah.
So then that's the part where I think that's, and again, look, here we all are decently intelligent guys. How do we deal with a crazy friend right now? Right. We have a nutty fucking, you have a comedian backstage, you guys are going through some stuff, and he starts like, yeah, but fuck them motherfuckers, fuck them motherfuckers. You're like, whoa, buddy. It was just a heckler. Relax. Yeah, but you're a fucking Muslim motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, because he got heckled by, you know, a Mexican or a Chinese guy or a white dude, you know, and he's like, at what point do you go, hey, man, you're a little more upset than maybe you should be about this. Who do you call? What do you say? What do you do?
Yeah, I take notice on those things, but I've never, thankfully, been in a, you know.
Yeah, well, most of us probably never will.
You know,
be,
you trigger something in my head. It's almost like society. I go to Israel a great deal, and I love Israel, and people, you know, have different political views on it, but after you're there, you have a different understanding of just that family setting. But on both sides, Palestinian and Israel, are post-traumatic stress cultures where people never address that. Why is that society? They're humans who have been under war since the beginning.
Yeah.
And you triggered in my mind all the military and all of our loved ones going overseas coming home. It's not just them. It's an American society, and that violence idea come up. So this kid's watching media and he's thinking this and thinking that, and you know, on top of whatever's mental health issues, you know, might be this big, and then you add the stress
it's a combination
of,
of nurture versus and nature, where you have a brain that's not fully functioning. Obviously, he has some, because I mean, I could come up to
punching a wall is relief for him. Maybe getting in a car and snapping.
You go up to the average person and go, "Hey, I want you to fucking jump in this airplane and drive it at that fucking air." Not everybody's going to be up for it, no matter how much I promise to give you. You're going to be like, "Fuck you, I'm not doing that."
Right.
So I think it takes a certain individual's mind that's susceptible because it's not fully functional.
Right.
Then it takes that manipulative motherfucker going, all right, I'm your general, or I'm your religious leader, or I'm your big brother, whoever the case may be, somebody from authority now brainwashing and breaking that already troubled mind down.
Right.
Let's get to the sparring clips. This went down, I guess, Friday night. That's when Travis texted me. He broke the news to me that Dana White had released the sparring footage, a couple of 10-second clips of Conor McGregor and Paulie Malignaggi. Now, the story here, Butch, I know you're aware of the fact that Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather are going to be fighting here in a couple of weeks, and their camps are preparing, and there's been some controversy around the Conor McGregor camp. I'll tell you what, we're going to do, if you don't mind, we're just going to do this live on the air. Cool. Butch has to go to the bathroom. Sorry.
I text you.
I know you were
I'm
being
like, bathroom break. You outed me like that.
I'm sorry. It was you think
it wasn't really personal.
No, listen. You think we'd have a much? I'm gay. Oh, gee, what do I do with this? Weird time to come out.
Are we live right now?
Well, here's the thing: is that
I'll be quick.
Yeah, no, it's fine. You're good. You go right ahead. We've done this before. Frank and I can hold it down. This is actually a good time, Frank, for us to talk about real water. Get hydrated and stay hydrated by going to drinkrealwater.com and finding out where real water is available in your area. Real Water, Frank, a premium drinking water with 8.0 pH balance that utilizes their proprietary E2 technology, making it the only drinking water on the market that can maintain a stable negative ionization. And I tell you how I found out that this is legit. Is Jennifer got some
testing strips?
Testing strips, right? And it was part of like a whole. She's very into like the juicing and you know green drinks and all that kind of stuff. And there were test strips for ionization, and I did mine. I was right on the money. I was like right exactly where these drinks were hoping to get you to. I was already there. Thanks to Real Water.
Yeah.
So that's what we drink in the studio. You see the familiar blue bottles. This one right here, the empty one on the table, used to be full, and then Forrest Griffin drank it all last week. So this is we'll sell this to somebody on eBay eventually after we get him to sign it. But the model bottle here is the Forrest Griffin bottle. Since Real Water is alkaline with that 8.0 pH balance and negative ionization, it can help your body restore balance and reach your full potential. So again, available all over the place out here where we are in the Nevada, California area. But if you're not sure if it's available in your area, just go to drinkrealwater.com to find out for sure. Also, Frank, maybe take a moment to mention the Amazon banner at phoneboothfighting.com. If you're going to shop on Amazon, we need you to go to phoneboothfighting.com and click through that banner. But Frank, it's up to you to tell people why.
Well, it's one way to really assist and help out with the show, to bring up the value and the merchandise and what we're trying to accomplish here by contributing. If you are an Amazon shopper already and you're somebody that already utilizes that service, it's your way of supporting the show at no extra cost to you by going through that portal. Now anything you purchase and all the things that you're acquiring, that your needs and your necessities of the world and your wants, we get a small percentage back to us for the show, which, as you can see, watching the show, we're trying to constantly improve the value of our products.
They kick a little percentage back to us at no additional cost to you, and we see you guys doing it, and we appreciate it. We are able to go on and see you guys clicking through the Amazon banner, and I can actually tell. Somebody asked me about this a few weeks ago because I was
my favorite part about the whole thing.
Yeah, I was shouting out to the dude who bought the Pittsburgh Steelers garden gnome and did it by clicking through our Amazon banner at phoneboothfighting.com. No, I can't tell who you are. I can just see what the purchases are. So for the people who make the more creative purchases, I think are the more memorable ones. I think we'll definitely continue to shout those out. And then if you want to relinquish your anonymity, you can let me know if that was you. Anyway, phoneboothfighting.com for that, as well as official show merchandise, the T-shirts, multiple styles, multiple colors. We got Butch Bradley hooked up with one before the show, so he'll be sporting that. And also autographed posters are there as well in the merch section of phoneboothfighting.com.
Also, too, we're talking about the Real MMA show. We have one coming up September 1st.
Yeah, that is, you know what? The next one is October, or is it September? Okay, wait, this one... You know what? I think that next one is October 27th because I think the September 1st one has been moved.
Has it? Okay.
Yeah, but
I was just looking at my calendar right now. I'm like, oh, man, I can make one.
Yeah. Maybe we'll just put one on anyway since you're going to be in town.
Yes.
But, yeah.
Some just go down and beat each other up so I can watch.
Yeah, Real MMA Promotions. MMA. Of course, an offshoot of Real Water that Frank and I are part owners in. There's the exciting T-shirt styles right up there on the big monitor. We got the ladies' tees in now. We got the limited edition black on black. The old school fight poster. Still have a few of those. By the way, when those are...
That.
You like that? You like that poster there?
Oh, my God, that's killer.
Yeah. Butch is checking out the fight poster.
Killer.
Yeah, we'll hook you up with that. Yeah, when those shirts are gone, they're gone, by the way. That's our last run of the old school fight poster print where we're doing the...
really cool, but I dig that.
Yeah.
We still got a couple left. We can get Butch one?
Yeah, we'll get him one of those too. Nice. Yeah, for sure. So anyway, phoneboothfighting.com is the website to get your official show merch. Okay, so the story of Conor McGregor and Paulie Malignaggi, Butch's back from the bathroom now, is that It's a nice bathroom, too, isn't it, by the way?
It is.
Did you happen to do the thing where the lights were out and you realized the counter lit up under the stone?
I did not. I was moving quickly. Since
on the show. Yeah, that bathroom's got a couple cool features in it. All right, so...
Facebook Live, is that okay?
Oh, yeah. Hey, what's up to all of Butch Bradley's Facebook friends? Nice to meet you. I'm Richard. That's Frank. And
this is Phone Booth Fighting.
Yeah, this is our twice weekly podcast. Butch is a guest on episode 141, so Butch Bradley fans, make sure you tune in for that or watch it on YouTube. We'll give you the link so you can just post it up there on your page. So Conor had brought in Paulie Malignaggi as a sparring partner. And Frank, just for those uninitiated, those that may not know, have not heard our discussion about it, the protocol of sparring. Explain that briefly.
Well, when you're the fighter in the situation, to be Conor, you bring individuals to come in that are going to work with you and push the pace and have certain goals to accomplish. Some days are harder than others, but that way that they can give you a good look. You probably have, if you're going to do, for example, 6 rounds, you'll have 2 to 3 sparring partners. Each sparring partner will do between 2 and 3 rounds. There are times maybe that third guy doesn't even jump in because you have 2 guys go 3 rounds each. But the idea is that it's not having the training partner go the full distance because, well, that's not helping you get ready for the fight, because as he gets tired and you get tired, you'd want someone fresh to jump in there to help sharpen the sword, to push yourself.
Sort of like jogging with ankle weights on.
Correct.
Creating extra resistance.
It'd be like if I was running laps around and I wanted to race somebody, I wouldn't race the same guy the whole time. If I wanted to improve myself to where I'm getting ready to go against somebody, at the end of the week, I would have a new partner jump on each lap who's fresh, who then can push me. And that's pretty common in a lot of combat sports. It's how we do it in sparring for boxing and kickboxing and MMA. If I'm wrestling, we'll do Ironmans where I'll wrestle with one guy for 2 or 3 minutes. Another guy jumps in, for 2 or 3 minutes. So that way I'm going for 6 minutes at a time, but I have a fresh guy, not taking the whole time because obviously I'm getting ready for a fight. For example, Paulie Malignaggi is already retired. He's not fighting Mayweather on August 26th.
Right.
So the fact that he was the only one brought in to spar Conor and no other guys were there, Conor now can say that, well, whether he won or lost or beat up or lost to Paulie, it doesn't make him any better because Paulie then he's basically competing with a guy who's a broadcaster now.
Now, the other thing you do is, as I understand it, the etiquette of sparring is we don't talk about what happens in sparring.
No.
If I bring you in, because whether I'm getting the best of you or whatever, for a couple of reasons. One, that's just respectful.
Yes.
But the other part of it too is it may not be accurate. If I'm bringing you in, Frank, to help me train for a fight, and if I'm telling you, hey, mimic this about my opponent, do this one thing over and over again, you may not be using all of your skills. So if I bested you at something, that's not really a true representation of what happened.
We're not fighting, it's sparring.
Yeah.
So sparring is a building tool. And again, it was strange to me when I found that out that Conor only brought in Paulie. I'm like, well, I guarantee you that Mayweather isn't sparring one guy the whole time so that Mayweather can push his cardio above and his conditioning and his timing above the guys he's facing. Paulie doesn't need to do 8 to 12 rounds because then he's going to get tired, rightfully so. They should be jumping a new guy in there every 2 to 3 rounds so that Conor has to basically chase that rabbit. And then again, to what you're saying, whatever happens in sparring, it doesn't come out. You don't sit there and brag.
Yeah.
And if you're that guy that does it, well, we have those guys in the gym that will sit there and, and again, it's usually not a real true testament because I've had those rumors come back, during my career where a guy goes, I got the better friend. I grabbed him and I threw him. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But did you tell them about how I kicked you in the face before that, how I threw you around, I tapped you out 5 or 6 times, so it's always strange. Usually the guys that brag about 10 seconds or 20 seconds of a particular day, they usually
training day too.
Right, training on top of it.
Day.
It usually means that
you're not trying to kill the guy. You're like, dude, help me work out some stuff.
So whenever guys want to brag about a moment of success, it usually means that the overall picture probably wasn't in your favor.
Yeah, and the thing about these clips now that they have come out. So Paulie left Conor's camp after a dispute on our last episode.
I agree with this statement right here. See, here's the thing. I can look. I've sparred with Bermain Stavern, who's the former WBO champion. He's only lost to Deontay Wilder for his championship. The guy's one of the top boxers in the world. Now, I lose to him in sparring because it's boxing, and I want to be a better boxer, and he's helped me develop as a better boxer, but he's a boxing champion. So over the course of us sparring, but on average 6 rounds is what we usually do, he wins. If you were to judge at the end, you're like, well, who won? Well, that guy did. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not a 15-second clip that you could edit out there and go, well, shit, here's Frank. He threw a great jab to the head, straight left to the body. He caught Bermain with a left hook. Bermain countered, and I slipped out of the way. Now, if you only saw that 5 or 6 seconds, you'd be like, God damn, Frank, you were kicking his ass. I'm like, yeah, that was about 5 or 6 seconds out of a 3-minute ass whooping that was actually going the other way. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so I didn't lose every second of every round. I had my moments.
So Paulie, if you listen to our last episode, striking coach Angelo Reyes was in here, and he really dropped the bomb on the whole thing, and he's very tight with Paulie Malignaggi and told Paulie's whole side of that story about why he left the camp. Paulie was upset last week because some still photos had been posted that he felt like were misleading. Well, now the video's out. Dana White has posted the video. We're going to take a look at these. Look at this clip. This clip has been viewed 1,063,328 times.
Get him out. Get him out. Oh, stop. Stop right there. Let's go.
Oh. All right. What do you see here, Frank?
Get him out. Get him out.
Well, I mean, that's just clinch sparring right there. They go off. Great straight left hand here from Conor. Another one, again, and then slapping there. He pushed him out the side. Kind of a slappy left hand there. I mean, it looked good there. I mean, I can't say it didn't. But again, I'm watching one exchange right there. That was a 5 or 6 second exchange or whatever the time was on it. Did Conor won that exchange right there?
We got another,
absolutely.
We got another clip to look at here. Oh, that was the So this was the video version of what Paulie said was a push down that appeared to look more like a knockdown in the still photo. What do you see there?
Yeah, same thing. You see how he just shoves him down right there with the hand. He pushes, boom. Paulie was off balance and he fell down. Also, too, it looks like somebody to me that looks tired. You know?
Yeah.
I see a fatigued guy. That wasn't a clean.
Listen, from me, the person that doesn't know, I still don't see Mayweather. Like, this is going to be a whole different situation.
Oh, yeah. But, hey, you know what, though? Okay, now look, on the flip side.
Who do you train against to get ready for Mayweather? This gentleman? I mean, like, you know what I mean? Is there actually a human?
Too, because of what Conor's attitude is, he doesn't have a good now rapport in the boxing community. And then because Paulie is a leader in the community of boxing and respected, Conor's going to have to lay out major money to pull any kind of training partners to even simulate. And anybody who's on that level who's good enough probably isn't going to work with him anyways. So he's in trouble. But, I mean, who cares anyways? He's not going to win the fight. Why spend money? I mean, they didn't pay Paulie anything. Why would you spend money to bring somebody in? Just keep that money.
I see.
Your chances of winning are slim to fucking none anyways.
So do you think McGregor's just playing that? He's just here for the money and the fame?
Absolutely.
But you don't think he has a shot? 1 in 1 million.
Yeah, I mean, but guess what? You're right. Does he have a shot?
Heart alone, right?
But for the people that say, well, he has a puncher's chance. Okay, cool. But that means that after this is done, if for whatever reason they do another fight, they have a rematch, but now they do it in MMA. You better say the same shit about Mayweather because as much as I think that there's my thought process of what chances Conor has winning a boxing match are equal to what I think Mayweather would do in an MMA fight.
Wow, I never thought about it that way.
So, but guess what?
Thank God I talked to you before I made my bet.
They're 4-ounce gloves, and so the same people that sit there and go, well, McGregor has a puncher's chance. I'm like, you're right, he could, but then when they fight MMA, Mayweather has a puncher's chance too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're right, and then they could fight an MMA fight, and Mayweather can go out there, McGregor's going to start standing, throws, and then boom, one shot, there's a chance with a 4-ounce glove and the speed and accuracy of Mayweather that he knocks Conor out in an MMA fight.
Yeah.
Do I think it's likely? Fuck no.
No.
Would I bet money on it? Hell fucking no. Do you know what I mean? Could it happen? Well, yeah, I guess it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen. I could fucking hit the lottery. It's not impossible.
Right.
But if you're telling me right now, go spend all my money on fucking lottery tickets, you're not going to do it because the probability of it occurring is not very high. Somebody does.
Lottery.
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
Puncher's chance is always kind of an overused phrase anyway, because there's always punches. Like, yeah, I get, yes, there is a puncher's chance because there are punches involved in the fight. Like, there's kind of nothing more exclusive to it than that.
But the reason why they're doing this is because, again, now look, 1 million views. I mean, they're into making money. Do I think Conor really thinks he can win this fight? No, I don't. I think Conor.
What if he gets smashed and embarrassed by, but
then he has a counter argument. He's already been embarrassed before in fights. He had Nate Diaz, who was unranked at the time, go in there on 9 days' notice and choked him, and he tapped very quickly. In our sport of MMA, for him to tap so fast like that, it shows a lack of mental toughness. It's like, oh wow, you panicked in there, you freaked out. So like amongst fighters, like it's like, well, no, you're a great athlete and you have some very good tools, but tough, no, you're not.
Interesting, yeah.
But that being said, he bounced back from it. He's a great marketing guy, and so at the end of this, when he gets, because. Actually, I've had other people, because I've thought my conspiracy theory is that Mayweather might actually try to throw the fight. But then other people have said, nah, they'll try to maybe do a rematch in MMA. Or Mayweather purposely, because Mayweather likes to bet money, the money will be on him carrying him and not knocking him out, purposely just beating him on points. So, I mean, there's things that occur. But bottom line is, at the end of it, when everybody's like, oh, you got your ass kicked to Conor, he's like, I just made $100 million. Fuck all everybody. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be his, I was 0-0 and I made this fight.
No way Mayweather's ego is going to let him do that. You think
throw the fight?
Yeah, there's no way.
I thought, and I talked to Paulie about this, and they told me that no, there's no fucking way. But I mean, come on, man. If Mayweather doesn't win this fight, how many millions of dollars is he going to make in the rematches?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. I probably going to make another 500 to almost $1 billion. I mean, if this one fight he's making 200 or 300 million, then a rematch has to be closer.
I will say this too. Let's keep in mind that Floyd Mayweather's got some tax issues right now, so it's kind of
well, he didn't pay taxes on the Pacquiao fight, so he has to pay off that tax bill. Then he has to pay the taxes on this, and it's the money tree, right? When is he going to be able to go back to this with anybody else? Like Mayweather, look, Mayweather is fucking happy as shit that Conor exists. Nobody else in the boxing world
wants to fight him.
Well, it created this opportunity. I mean, whether you want to or not, like,
is it worth the ching?
Money, right? Yeah. So Mayweather is making this amount of money because of Conor. Mayweather's a draw, but he has a great name. He is a phenomenal boxer, but as far as like, nobody right now has the selling power of Mayweather. Of Conor.
Yeah,
Conor McGregor is a fucking promoter's fucking wet dream. He's the greatest thing right now as far as
he's the ringmaster.
Yeah, any boxer that Floyd could go out and fight right now is going to be way less money and way more of a challenge across the board.
This is an awesome fight for Mayweather, and he owes it all to McGregor. So, but my point is that this is such a great opportunity for Mayweather. Once this fight's over with, what's next? He's not going to fight another MMA guy. There's only Conor who created this kind of draw.
Now, Frank's entertaining a conspiracy theory about Mayweather's motivation. I got to tell you about one Travis was considering over the weekend. Yeah. So,
do you want to tell us, Trav?
Yeah, Travis, our producer here, is he's got his own mic. Is over here, and we were talking about it over the weekend. And Travis said, could it be that Paulie Malignaggi is involved in the promotion of this thing? That maybe part of the script is to come in, have this falling out with Conor, leak the clips, have it for a couple of reasons. One, this helps build momentum behind Conor McGregor because the uninitiated is going to look at this going, oh my gosh, he's killing this guy. He's going to knock out Floyd. And then, of course, down the line, if Conor wants to box more, maybe do a big fight with Paulie Malignaggi where Paulie Malignaggi makes more money than he ever made when he was, he made a lot of money when he was boxing, but a fight with Conor McGregor, if the hype is still that big, could maybe be his biggest payday ever.
There's nobody in combat sports right now, unless they're a complete fucking moron, that would deny a fight to Conor. If right now, I don't give a shit who you are, the heavyweight champ, the fucking smallest guy, the women, if anybody sits there and goes, will you fight Conor? Everybody's going to say yes. That's why they call him out, because he's the money. You know what I mean? Like, Conor McGregor is the biggest money fight anybody could have by facing him because of the draw that he is.
I think you just nailed the future. There will be a female fighting a male somewhere on this road, don't you think? In your biz?
MMA, it could possibly. I mean, it has happened, but not tech. You know what I mean? Like, we've had what's her name? Fox.
Fallon Fox.
Fallon Fox. She was. It was a he with the surgery.
Once a man.
That's a man. I mean, just a man without a penis.
You would have a lot of regulatory issues in terms of state athletic commissions.
They've had horses. What famous race in the 70s? What was it? Ruffian. Ruffian raced against a male horse.
Oh, I don't know.
Society gets on this. I mean, you're saying McGregor and the marketing value.
Yeah. What do you think about the conspiracy idea, though, Frank? Because the one thing I did consider when Travis said that is, isn't it surprising that Malignaggi doesn't have any non-disclosure agreements? Yeah. Like, if you were a sparring partner, and especially if you're a high-profile guy, Malignaggi's got a big name, wouldn't you go in there with some one-page form that your lawyer's drawn up that just says, hey, this just says there'll be no unauthorized video distribution?
I'm with you, Trav. You're right. I agree.
Yeah, this whole thing just seems, I don't know, ticket sales are not that good. There's still tickets available. You know what I mean? So that's
not selling out.
That's kind of hard to believe. And with all this stuff coming out, it feels a little bit too scripted. It doesn't feel real. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. The tickets still. Wow, that says something.
Yeah, like all the floor seats, the marquee seats are gone, but the nosebleeds, I mean, they're all $500 tickets that they're not selling.
Well, everyone's probably seeing it like Meet the Kardashians event. You know what I mean? It feels rigged.
Yeah,
it is a spectacle. No, it's 100% spectacle. Yeah. This is like when Muhammad Ali fought Inoki. You know, it's a spectacle. You know what I mean? But Lucia Riker, that just went into the Hall of Fame for female boxing, she fought a male in a kickboxing match.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't end well for her, and she's undefeated otherwise. Right. Never lost to a woman. Undefeated boxing, kickboxing. So you
think maybe there could that's at least somewhat plausible, because I will say this, like,
and he does work for Showtime, so I mean, not only is it maybe his way of sitting there going, okay, we'll show the clip of this, us going back and forth talking shit, because Showtime obviously wants to promote the fight. If ticket sales are lagging right now, which probably when they first thought they would do this, nobody thought they would be lagging. Right. Yeah. So now they're sitting there going, shit, man, too many of the people in the know are saying this is a bullshit fight. And the average person kind of now is, unless you're, they're kind of like, this, and like even there, for Dana to sit there and go, for all those people that doesn't, like, so that means, that just shows you this, like I always look at, the fact that you said those words means that you've heard those words, and those words are affecting you. You know, that, for all those people that are saying that this, that this isn't going to be a boxing match, this is going to be a fight. There's a lot of people that aren't going because they're like, dude, it's either going to be Mayweather slapping the shit out of him for 12 rounds is what the average person's thinking, or it's Conor landing a lucky shot.
I don't know how McGregor is not going to pick a foot up. Okay, I'm from I kickbox. I love it. At like 10 years just being an everyday Joe who loves kickboxing, I know my body weight. I don't have much. I need this. Yeah. He's a murderer used to his feet, and he's a kicker. How's he going to resist? And also especially not giving a shit. But even and if he doesn't give a shit, if he's like, he probably had a meeting with someone like you and was like,
because I've done it in sparring before to remain.
He's come
in a good shot, I get rocked, awesome, boom. I shot a single, I've thrown a knee on.
Tyson
bit
an ear.
Oh shit, I'm sorry, man.
Tyson bit an ear. Can he kick him once? Can he kick him once and then they separate?
No, if he kicks him, he loses the they got all kinds of shit.
Here's another one. If he kicks him, do you get paid out? Is it a fight still? Is it a win-loss?
They're saying no. They're saying it's got to be a fight, right? Yeah, they're saying that it's in the contract that he wouldn't get paid.
Now, when they said that, I keep asking, has anybody seen this contract?
No. No
one's seen it. So what I think, and that was my original thought, was that Mayweather kicks the shit out of him boxing-wise. Conor just fucking throws a head kick, knocks him out. If he still gets paid, even if they give him a fucking
Hold on, I gotta
penalty.
call that bet in. Bet the kick. Bet the kick. I got it.
You know what I mean?
So the other thought too,
He's gonna kick him. I think he's gonna kick him.
This story, this was also reported this week that UFC has filed the paperwork to be a co-promoter of this fight, because originally they were not going to co-promote. It was Showtime. That was it, and all they were doing was just we'll post it on our social media or whatever. And now UFC is in some way, at least to the point that paperwork has had to be filed, is going to be involved.
I think Showtime realizes this isn't selling like hotcakes like they wanted.
They're going to paper the room now.
So now they're like, well, shit, let's maybe this isn't as easy of a slam dunk as we thought this was going to be. The fans aren't biting it like the way we thought they were. Now we still got to go on in the fact that they're going to pay. What is it? Still, is it the $100 pay-per-view?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people just say, fuck that. We're not paying $100, especially when you know that you're going to see highlight. Like, look, it's either going to be you're paying $100 if Mayweather wins to watch a fight that no one really likes to watch anyways, or if Conor wins, it's going to be a 5-second highlight reel,
right? Because
Conor can't outbox Mayweather.
Yeah.
I mean, even people that think he's going to win don't think that he can outbox him and win a decision.
Mayweather is in like, it's going to sound corny, but he's like Bruce Lee, Ali. He's like a human
he's
of
the
Bob.
best
he's
at
an X-Man.
his style of boxing.
He's an X-Man.
But you're right. If Conor were to win, everybody that thinks that he could win thinks the same thing across the board, is that it has to be that he lands a shot. So then you'll see it on ESPN anyways. Why would you pay $100 to see a 3-second highlight reel?
Yeah, and so with them involved in the co-promoting, the one thought that comes to mind is that the UFC would never do anything that would put them at any kind of legal risk as far as like posting clips and this sort of thing. So either Paulie doesn't even think to do stuff like that, and maybe he should in terms of non-disclosures. Or
he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah, or that's the more
Travis, you got it, man.
Sinister idea. All right.
Yeah, because I mean, even before he came into camp, I mean, he was on Big Brown Breakdown talking about all the stuff. I mean, he was building it up quite a bit that he was even going to go do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially after this came out, I mean, he made the rounds on Ariel's show. He called in and talked to Schaub again.
He even sent Angelo out as a surrogate.
That's right.
Angelo's having to go out and do shows.
It's funny being the guy that, like, I feel like, the knowledge you guys have is incredible. And to me, listening to all of you, in my mind, someone's got to get paid. So who's the person that has to be paid all this money back? And what would be the outcome that must occur in order for everyone to get paid? That's what the outcome will be.
Yeah,
whoever the most powerful must be paid person is in this scenario, whatever that outcome is, that's the outcome that will be, because now I'm seeing it as, this is what's going to fucking happen.
Yeah. Well, the way the odds came out to begin with, I do know that on the flip side, that if Conor were to win, the casinos are going to lose millions of dollars.
We just answered the question.
Yeah.
Wow. That's the reality that we all, in our fantasies of watching football and our love of art like this, the reality is that's the outcome that will be.
The way that the betting started out, so much money came in on Conor, and it's not going on Mayweather. Because, I mean, to bet Mayweather with those odds, it's like, I mean, like they had one guy who just bet like 800,000 or something that was in the newspaper, 880, and like if the bet,
did he bet on Conor?
He bet on Mayweather.
Okay,
and guess what? So he's putting down almost $1 million, and he's going to win 160.
Yeah,
wow.
So I mean, like, so you have to put a lot of money down, and if the fluke chance occurs, like, what's really the benefit?
Yeah.
Where on the flip side, you put a couple bucks on Conor, and if lightning strikes, you're doing well. I mean, you put $100 on him, and now you're winning, well over 1,000.
Yeah.
So now because of that, people are throwing money on Conor.
Yeah, you can't let the casino industry drop.
Yeah. So all of a sudden now the casino needs Mayweather to win to cover the bets.
Let's close out here. Just a little postcard.
The odds of us going missing after this statement.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't know about you, but the Godfather's out there.
Yeah.
Just a little postcard from my weekend. I went to see Deep Purple and Alice Cooper last night. Yeah, pull up. Now this is Deep Purple. Here was the interesting thing about the show. I've seen Alice Cooper a million times. For whatever reason, I had never had the occasion to see Deep Purple before. Go ahead and roll it, Travis. This is the smoke on the water here. You got oh boy, somebody needs to hold the camera steady. That, by the way, is not my camera work. You've got 3 original members of the band: Ian Gillan on vocals, Roger Glover over there on bass, Ian Pace on drums, Steve Morse on guitar, who's a guitar virtuoso. He's been in the band 20 years, so even though not an original member, he's been there for a long time. And then their original keyboard player, John Lord, died a couple of years ago, so he's been replaced. But fun show, seeing some old guys do it. The promotion, Butch, that Frank does color commentary for overseas, ACB, the guy that owns it is a big Deep Purple fan. Cool. And so what he does is, I didn't know this, and I was watching a fight that Frank was calling, and I'm texting him because I'm going, how come I've heard 5 fighters walk out to Highway Star? What's going on here? And Frank was saying that the guy's such a fan that he just tells all the fighters, pick a Deep Purple song. That's what you're walking out to.
That's great.
Yeah. But here was the interesting thing about this show. These guys had to follow Alice Cooper. Now, it was kind of an interesting double bill because if you've ever seen Alice Cooper's stage show, I mean, look at a little bit. This guy's 69 years old. Go ahead and hit it, Travis. Doing this, and I mean,
wow,
you're
he's
talking
cool,
about.
Man. I'm sorry, he's cool.
You're talking about a stage show that has pyrotechnics. I mean, severed heads,
bubbles,
guillotines, bubbles. I mean, Deep Purple was cool to see.
Either.
No, she's quite a player.
She's smoking hot at like 6'1" too, isn't she?
Well, she's standing on a platform.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to be 69 and to still be doing this at this level, like, I mean, he I guess they co-headlined, so it wasn't like he was technically
I still wish
an
you would have
opening
told me. I'd
act.
have known. I would have asked you to get something for Merrimack.
Oh yeah.
Because he.
I didn't have any special access. I was just in the crowd watching the show. But yeah, some merch. But you've 69 years old and no signs of slowing down here. Like this guy, you want to talk about a guy.
He loves what he does.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to talk about a guy that's just like
murdering it.
Yeah, it just
that's what he does.
Living on the road. By the way, somebody who was very, very affected by the passing of Glenn Campbell a couple of days ago because Alice Cooper and Glenn Campbell were best friends.
Oh, that's crazy.
They lived right by each other in Phoenix and played golf together all the time. So a lot of people don't realize Glenn Campbell, we hadn't talked about that in the last episode, but people just think of him as a rhinestone cowboy, like the country artist. That guy's one of the best guitar players of all time.
Yeah.
He was basically a beach boy, when Brian Wilson went nuts and couldn't tour anymore. Glenn Campbell was the guy, and he's played on so many session songs that people don't even know that's Glenn Campbell playing guitar on. Yeah. Anyway, so it's kind of a fun. That was I was doing that. And Travis was hosting a 3-year-old's birthday party. Is that right? Listen to what this. It's probably nothing to you, Frank. It scared the shit out of me when he told me. Tell everybody the stats on the party yesterday. What you were doing in your house.
Well, the ratio was 20-1, female to male. It was kind of like Jerry Maguire when he walks in as the angry wives club.
Right.
That's kind of what it was like. Less angry though.
So how many? Okay, your daughter just turned 3. How many kids?
There was maybe 10, something like that.
How do you have 10 friends by the time you're 3 years old? I was impressed at that. That's pretty impressive. She must be very outgoing.
I wouldn't call them friends.
Oh,
I mean,
those are the kids with the next birthday parties that fall in the line that he's got to buy gifts for.
You get assigned 10 friends when you're 3. Okay,
that's kind of how it is. It's all my friends with kids.
Got it.
And you just put them together, and they just kind of work it out.
And then how many?
And they work it out.
And then
that's the guy version.
Yeah, and then how? And then how many moms?
There's about 20.
Golly.
Are you married?
I've been with the same girl for a long time, so same thing.
Yeah. Well,
right. Yeah, they have the kid together, the 3-year-old. Yeah, so.
But I mean, like, you're in a relationship, so all those women wandering around was not an issue for you.
I had no problem with it.
Right.
Yeah, but they're probably looking at him like,
I'm working the crowd a little. I was setting him up, a little sensitive. I could go in, but I'm going to let him go.
You know what? I'll bet you have to look out for though, Butch. If you're,
when
I'm
he's
just
in
guessing.
front of the door that I got to get out of.
No. What I'm guessing is like because he's like this super involved, attentive dad. I would be worried about the single mom who's there. She's got the 3-year-old, but she's already the
she's
single
eyeing
mom.
him up.
Yeah. she's like, this guy.
He's got the name Travis, good looking. He's hands on.
I should have been with this one,
right?
Instead of what I ended up with.
Yeah.
Does that happen? Are there those?
No, that hasn't happened yet.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'll keep my fingers crossed.
Oh, it's happening, Travis. Couple more birthday parties. Shit's gonna happen.
Yeah. All right, Butch. Now, once again, people can come to Las Vegas and see you any night of the week if it's not Wednesday and Thursday, but 5 nights a week. Butch is doing the 10 p.m. Show in residency at the LA Comedy Club. It's inside the Stratosphere Hotel and Casino. You hear me talk about playing there on my Sundays, but Butch is there in residency. And tell everybody where they can find you, social media.
I'm on
that
Instagram.
Kind of
I'm on Facebook. I do a ton for the troops. So
I was going to ask you. Now you're wearing a cap here. You got it got the W/W. I thought that was like some sort of gay code, but this is actually not that.
No,
this is something you're involved with. It's a
that's
troop
another
charity.
code.
Yeah. That's a different hat.
Yeah, it's a different hat. Right.
No,
this
tell
is
me what you're
Wine to
doing.
Water,
Yeah.
and there's a gentleman, Sean Abrusky, that I met at a police event in Jersey, who is a Marine. And what he does is he takes soldiers that are back that are dealing with some issues, organizes them, and this is the Veterans Division of Wine to Water, where they go over and they actually dig and build wines and put running water in locations around the world. So the guys tend to get a great deal out of being back on mission.
Oh,
you
right.
know, you're home, you've had like this life where, you're existing and you're on a team and you have missions, and then you get home and you're dealing with the post-traumatic stress of being out of theater and trying to get into normality and trying to turn off that, higher awareness. This tends to help them. They get on mission. They talk to other guys, men and women, who are dealing with some similar issues. It's a real positive thing, so I raise money for them. And I do tons of USO shows. I've been to Afghanistan, Iraq a couple times. The reason I mention that is so the guys at home that are real know that I have a little bit of an insight. My show's completely comped to all military, active. I don't, police, fire. Just come in, you're comped. Say you're a guest of mine. I love to get those guys in there and give back as much. I love doing those shows, and meeting all of them. And so I'm there. 10 o'clock shows, residency inside the Stratosphere at the LA Comedy Club, and I tour all over. I'm in LA on my nights off, at the factory or the store or something, and just come say hi, man.
You really are one of the funniest guys I've ever gotten a chance to work with.
God bless America, buddy.
And I've worked with more than 2, so that's a very
thanks,
very
man.
good sign. No, you really are. You really are. You're awesome. And I love the fact that you're in residency.
There will be times when I'm not funny. Let's just put it out.
Yeah.
I'm training. So sometimes the guy that knocks me out,
yeah.
I don't clip that edit. I let myself go down.
Yeah.
But I'll get up and I'll recover. And in front of you, so yeah.
Well, and I'm excited about the fact that you're here in residency, because what that means is there's going to be a lot of diversity in material. You're going to have a chance to do
new
all
show.
kinds
I
of
do a new show every night.
Yeah.
I do maybe 30% of the material. Sometimes I safety net the Vegas amateurs that come in hammered, and I bring them up to put them on the road so we can get our minds running. But
right.
My shows are different every single night, and it's a huge compliment to have a residency in Vegas. I grew up in a casino town. I don't take it lightly.
Yeah.
I'll make sure you get a killer show.
Yeah.
So,
yep. LAComedyClub.com or LA. That is it, the website, LAComedyClub.com. And they are inside the Stratosphere Hotel and Casino right here on the Las Vegas Strip. All right, we got to tell people to follow us on social media, Frank. I am official Richard Hunter on Facebook. Twitter and Instagram is Richard Hunter. You are on Facebook at official Frank Mir. Twitter and Instagram is the Frank Mir. Give Travis over there a follow on Twitter at Scuba T Diving. T is in Travis. And Frank, break it down for everybody as to how they can find the show itself on social media.
If you go on Facebook or Instagram, you can find us at Phone Booth Fighting. Snapchat and Twitter is just Phone Booth Fight.
That's it for Butch Bradley, who was kind enough to join us in
Phone
the bunker
Booth Fighting.
here.
Thank you, gentlemen, for having me
Thank
on.
you.
It's awesome,
Man.
Travis. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks for being on with us,
today,
man.
man.
We'll
Yeah,
do
it
it
was
again.
fun.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
We did well.
Yeah,
It was
man.
good.
Yeah,
It was
we
good.
solved some of the world's problems, had a few
did.
laughs along the way.
We're all going to
rocked out.
disappear after this show.
Absolutely. It was a good show to go out on. For Butch and Travis and Frank, I'm Richard, and we'll see you next time right here on Phone Booth Fighting.